All right. Detecting a quorum. Will the meeting please come to order? Today is Tuesday, April 7th. This is the 6th meeting of 2026 and the 58th regular meeting of the current term of the Metropolitan Council of Nashville and Davidson County. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation is being offered this evening by the Right Honourable Lord Mayor of our sister city of Belfast, Northern Ireland. Councillor and Lord Mayor Tracy Keller presides over a council of 60 members and is the guest of District 13 Council Member Russ Bradford. Welcome back to our chamber, Lord Mayor. You are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And good evening, members of council and citizens of our sister city, Nashville. It is an honour as Lord Mayor of Belfast to have this opportunity to open this evening's meeting. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to reflect on the remarkable bond that brings us together, because this relationship between Nashville and Belfast is no ordinary relationship. Our connection has roots that stretch back to the 18th century, when Scots-Irish settlers from Ulster made their way to Tennessee and helped shape the very character of this region. And the partnership has grown far beyond those early days. It has proven to be significant for both cities across business, culture, education and tourism, with student exchanges between our universities, trade missions, music festivals and collaborations that continue to deepen year on year. Two cities, an ocean apart, but building bridges, bonds and benefits for the betterment of both Belfast and Nashville. We thank you for your support, we thank you for your commitment, and we thank you for everything that we have between our sister cities. Thank you. As we commence discussions, let us just take a moment to centre our hearts and our minds on the purpose that brings us together. Let us pray. Dear Lord, source of wisdom and unity, whether we know you through faith, through shared humanity, or through our values we hold dear, we pause to give thanks for this community we serve. We are grateful for the friendships that strengthen our resolve, for the partnerships that make our work possible, and for the trust placed in us by those we represent. Grant us the clarity to listen with open minds, the courage to speak with honesty, and the humility to seek common ground. May our discussions tonight be guided by respect, compassion, and a shared vision for the good of all. Help us to remember that progress is not built by one voice alone, but by many voices working together, each bringing their own story, their own strengths, and their own hopes for the future. May our decisions today plant seeds of cooperation that will grow into lasting bonds of friendship and partnership right across our community. Let us be mindful that every choice we make has the power to strengthen the bonds between our communities, to open doors for future generations, and to show that friendship across distance is not only possible, but also powerful. Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you very much, Lord Mayor. Thank you. Welcome, council and community members. It is wonderful to have our friends from across the Atlantic joining us today in Nashville. In a recently increasingly chaotic world, citizen diplomacy and international friendships are essential. I hope all who celebrate had a joyous Easter on Sunday, and we wish our Jewish friends a happy Passover as it continues this week. It was my pleasure to attend the annual Social Justice Seder honoring Avi Poster week before last. It is Transit Month in Nashville, and I invite all council members to join me in riding transit to and or from Monday, April 20th committees or the Tuesday, April 21st council meeting, or perhaps to the Cherry Blossom Festival this weekend or the Earth Day Festival at Centennial Park on April 18th. They are all easily reachable by transit. Additionally, on April 19th, I would ask that you mark your calendars. I'm pleased to be hosting in partnership with Nashville Sites the launch of our new City Hall and Public Square tour. Among the many tours that Nashville Sites offers on their platform, the mayor and Davidson County's new historian, Dr. Lee Williams, recently confirmed by this body, will be joining us. And I hope that the council and the community will plan to attend at 3 o'clock on that Sunday, April 19th, to celebrate the many histories that converge here on the public square. So more information to follow. All right. Without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to please record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes of the meeting of March 17th, 2026? Okay, there is a motion. It is properly seconded, and without objection, and seeing no one seeking to be recognized for a change to the minutes, the minutes of the meeting of March 17th are approved. Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, we are going to roll right on into Section E of our agenda, appointees and nominees. This portion of the agenda shares all persons who are scheduled to appear before the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee for an interview this evening. Referrals back to the committee will be by rule as part of the council's two-meeting process for elections and confirmations. No votes will be taken by the body in this section of the agenda. And Chair Cash, your brief report, please. No vote totals necessary, simply the name of those interviewed and for which seats. And if a person in the appointment and confirmation process was unable to attend your committee this evening, please share at what meeting they will next appear. Go ahead, sir. You're recognized, Chair.
All right. We did a number of interviews, and there were a couple of deferrals. We interviewed for Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory, Catherine McDonald. For Board of Equalization, Whitney Ellis. The appointment of Christopher Grimes for Board of Equalization was withdrawn. For Board of Equalization, Michelle Trueba. For Board of Equalization, Scott Tyrone. Fair Commissioners Board, Brittany Tabor. Farmers Market Board, Scott Moskowitz. Housing Trust Fund Commission, Lizzie Goddard. For Property Standards and Appeals, Mirza Esteban was deferred one meeting. Sports Authority, reappointment of Daniel Russ Pulley. For the sustainability, a number for the Sustainability Advisory Committee, Jeffrey Ezo, Linda Bregan, Cesar Castro was deferred one meeting. Caroline Everett was deferred one meeting. Also for Sustainability Advisory, Councilmember Sandy Ewing, Matthew K. Taylor, Jennifer Wang, and Erica Weeks. And for Traffic and Parking Commission, Lauren Gaines, Zoning Appeals Board, Michael Garrigan, and Anna Yoder.
All right, thank you for that report, Chair Cash. And just to confirm, Mr. Christopher Grimes for the Board of Equalization was withdrawn.
Correct.
And for Property Standards, Mira Esteban is deferred one meeting and will be interviewed at the meeting of April 21st. And then for Sustainability Advisory Committee, both Cesar Castro and Caroline Everett will be deferred one meeting, also to be interviewed on April 21st.
Correct.
All right. So next, we are rolling right into the second part of your committee report on the appointees in the second step of your committee's two-meeting process with vote totals this time and consolidated motion for the confirmation of those persons, or first for a deferral motion if there are any. Go ahead, sir.
All right, for the Arts Commission, the reappointment of Evan R. Brown, approved 6-0-0. Planning Commission, reappointment of Jessica Farr, approved 6-0-0. Sustainability Advisory reappointment of Councilmember Berkeley Allen, 6-0-0. Sustainability Advisory Committee reappointment of Jason Carney, also 6-0-0. Sustainability Advisory Committee reappointment of Michelle Hammond, 6-0-0, and also the reappointment of Stephanie Tetro to that same committee, 6-0-0. I move approval of all nominees.
All right, there's a motion to confirm these nominees. Is there a second? Okay. Does anyone wish to remove an item from this consolidated motion for purposes of an individual abstention or a no vote? All right, Councilmember Welsh, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to remove F2.
Okay. Item F2, the reappointment of Jessica Farr, will be removed from the consolidated motion and vote. Are any other members seeking to remove an item from this consolidated motion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor of the remaining confirmations, please say aye. All right, these folks are confirmed. We're going to recognize everybody at the end. Let's move next to our remaining confirmation. Item F2, Ms. Jessica Farr, a reappointment to the Planning Commission. Would all in favor please say aye? Any voting no?
No.
Any abstaining? All right, this confirmation requires 21 votes and only hearing one no vote. Ms. Farr has also been confirmed. So I will then now share who council has confirmed, and if you chose to return to the council chamber this evening, which is not required, do please stand as I call your name. Otherwise, if you're watching online, it's our honor to recognize you as we confirm. Council has confirmed the appointments of Evan R. Brown to the Arts Commission, Jessica Farr to the Planning Commission. Council has confirmed to the Sustainability Advisory Committee the reappointments of Councilmember Berkeley Allen, Jason Carney, Michelle Hammam, and Stephanie Tetro. If you are here, please stand. If not, and you're watching from home, congratulations to everyone on your confirmation. We appreciate your willingness to serve our city. Thank you so much. All right. As we conclude our expressions of appreciation, I will acknowledge Councilmember Druffel, who seeks to acknowledge a local veteran who is celebrating an exceptional milestone this evening. Go ahead, Mr. Druffel.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. We have an exceptional American in our city. He turns 105 today. Jerry Neal. He was a bombardier pilot on D-Day. Actually had a crash landing that day after he unloaded his gas and his bombs and crashed into an island, but went on to successfully complete over 25 missions. And an amazing guy. Anyhow, just want to wish him the best happy birthday for an exceptional guy. He is still as sharp as I wish to be someday, but just everybody, a great happy birthday to an exceptional man. Thank you.
Happy birthday to Mr. Neal, who is, Mr. Druffel, I'm not sure if you shared, 105 today. 105.
Today.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Neal. Happy birthday. Okay. All right. We're moving to section G of our agenda, nominations. All right, so off the top, I do want to highlight 3 memos that council will have received, whether on your desk or via email, regarding vacancies, 1 vacancy each on on the Property Standards and Appeals Board, one on the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board, and one on the East Bank Development Authority. At this time, when sharing this with council and the community, I do briefly share what each of these boards and commissions do. The Board of Property Standards and Appeals hears and acts upon appeals of orders issued by the Codes Department as it administers the requirements set forth in the Property Standards Code. They can uphold the order, overturn it, modify or extend the order, or place special conditions. Second, again, one vacancy on the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board. This board shall hear and decide appeals from decisions made by the zoning administrator regarding short-term rental permits, whereby it is alleged in writing that the zoning administrator is in error or act arbitrarily. The board shall have jurisdiction to uphold, reverse, or modify in whole or in part the zoning administrator's decision regarding permit issuance or revocation for all permits eligible for review. And then lastly, one vacancy on the East Bank Development Authority. The East Bank Development Authority is authorized under Chapter 68 of the State of Tennessee Private Acts of 2024, as adopted by this council in 2024, and is charged with promoting economic development along the east bank of the Cumberland River. All right, so that is all of those memos. Those nominations will be taken at the council meeting of April 21st, okay? So council members, please do be considering your nominations, and members of the community, if you are hearing this and are interested in serving, please do reach out to your council member. All right. Now, for nominations, as we, let's see. Okay. By prior memo, that would have been on March 17th, I will open nominations at this time for the Health and Education Facilities Board. Council members, if you would please enter the queue if you have a nomination to make for that pursuant to my March 17th memo. Okay, Councilmember Cap, you're recognized.
Nominate Nick Cavan for the Health and Ed Board.
Okay. Councilmember Cap has nominated Nick Cavan. Are there any additional nominations from council members? All right. I will now close the nominations. All right, we are going to roll right into our public comment period. Members of the public who are Tennessee residents wishing to speak at public comment may sign up at the table outside of the council chamber from 5 to 6 p.m. on the evening of a council meeting. Public comment is limited to 20 minutes total at council meetings, and each speaker is allowed up to 2 minutes to speak. For public comment this evening, we have 2 members of the community who have signed up. First is Philip, I'm not sure if it's Pilet or Pillet, and then next, Dr. Leslie Benmark. If you would go ahead and come forward. Philip is speaking on the MLU, or perhaps MOU, between Metro and local law enforcement, speaking in opposition. Go ahead, sir.
I'm actually speaking with the local 140 for the firefighters, and you did get my name right. Thank you very much.
Was it Pilet or Pillet?
The first one.
All right.
Yeah, I heard Pillet my whole
Le
life.
français, très bien.
Yeah, very good. I'm bringing attention to Article 25 of the MOU between Metro and Local 140. Article 25 has to deal with Kelly Days. It seems to follow the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act up until the point where the firemen are given 12 hours off for a Kelly Day, as defined on Article 25. According to the Fair Labor Standards Act, any time worked outside the work cycle, which is defined in item 1 here as 27 days, is supposed to be compensated at time and a half. So in a 27-day cycle, firemen are working 9 shifts for a total of 216 hours. Those 216 hours, they're paid for 204 and given a Kelly day for 12 hours off. That 12 hours off should be 18 hours off because it should be compensated at time and a half. I don't know if the wording of this document is incorrect and the practice is that the firemen are getting the 18 hours off, but according to this, they're being shortchanged, according to the Fair Labor Standards Act, 6 hours every 27-day period, which equals out to 13 and a half cycles throughout a 365-day year. And my question to the committees is, who would be the appropriate person to look into this that I could contact and see if it's just wording in a document that's incorrect or that the practice itself is in conflict with the Fair Labor Standards Act?
All right. So this is a comment period, but I would invite the chair of the associated committee to speak with you or be in touch with you. Can you provide your contact information, perhaps to Ms. Valdez, a member of our staff, so that somebody can be in touch with you to answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Sure. Next is Dr. Leslie Benmark. She is speaking on agenda item 13. This is ordinance BL 2026-1311 regarding properties or wanting this property to remain a business. She is in opposition to this resolution. Go ahead. You're recognized, Dr. Benmark.
Yes, thank you. I really thought I'd be speaking later, but I am opposed to changing the days in. I'm a member of, lived in Davidson County for 55 years and in Jolton for over 40 years. I'll speak later, but I just want to go on record, is Jolton needs days in to stay a motel. It's important to the people there, and we need to, and I choose to vote no to this item that'll be coming up later. We need in Jolton for days in to stay a motel, public motel. Thank you. I'll speak later in more detail.
All righty, thank you. I've also just been made aware and want to acknowledge, as I would have done so off the top had I known, that we do have a scout troop with us, troop number 3. Apparently one of the oldest in the county is here this evening to observe, and so we welcome them for joining us this evening. Thank you. All right. Okay. That concludes our public comment. Next, agenda item I-1. This is a rule of procedure regarding Rule 50, an amendment to the Rule of Procedure regarding election to boards and commissions. We take up these matters as we do legislation. The sponsor of the rule amendment, again, this is regarding the vacancy for a board and commission and kind of how we conduct the process, is Mr. Coupin. You're recognized, sir, and if you would first request your committee report.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee reports, please.
Chair Cash for the report of rules, confirmations, and public elections, sir.
We voted 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. We substituted and then voted 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for the substituted rule change.
Okay. All right. It's back to you for a motion to get this before us, please, Mr. Coupin.
Move the bill, please.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion of approval for this rule of procedure change? Okay. Alrighty. With that, Mr. Coupin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, and I appreciate the work that the Rules Chair also has done on this bill, and I believe he's got a substitute on it, but basically this would address the kind of situations we've ended up in a couple of times where a qualified member of the community wanted to either continue serving on a board or commission or wanted to be considered, and then we gave them, the typical, like we saw this evening, month and a half notice, and that date happened to land on a family trip or a funeral or something that was unavoidable, and so I had proposed a way to defer or allow for a deferral of the nominee consideration with both the Rules Committee and the council body supporting it. And then Chair Cash, I know, had worked a little bit to kind of fine tune it and change it a little bit. So I am supportive of his substitutes. I don't know if he wants me to move that or if he wants to move that. I'm fine either way.
Chair Cash, are you willing to let the sponsor or do you seek to be recognized? Yeah.
I'd like to speak.
I'm happy to recognize you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Thanks. So I agreed with Councilmember Coupin's effort. I mean, we kept having some issues with people not being, and these are only for council nominated appointments or elections, right? Not the mayor's office sends somebody in, they aren't able to make it, we can defer it, right? No harm, no foul. But we were seeing some issues with our new 2-week kind of system of the inability on occasion for a nominee to show up. And it was happening more than once, and it felt like we should have some kind of way to address that. At first, in my substitute,
Mr. Cash, if you're going to speak on the substitute, if you would please make the motion to substitute.
I'd like to move the substitute.
Is there a second? Go ahead, sir. Please continue.
Thanks. And so at the substitute that I had last meeting, I had added a line that let us as council, if we wanted to push back the election for another 2 weeks so that there was time to look at the second interview or the deferred interview, we could do so. With some feedback here and some reflection, I thought that it made more sense to just, if we are going to do that, if we are going to defer an interview, that we should also defer the election. So if we, the Rules Committee and the council, defer a council-appointed nominee, then it will defer the election by 2 weeks so that there will be that same 2-week gap between an interview and the council's ability to go back and watch it. Also, on the substitute, I went through and kind of, like I said last time, took my English teacher red pen to it and just made some wording changes that don't really change anything, except I think it reads better.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
All right. There is a motion to substitute that was properly seconded, and you have heard the explanation of the substitute of Chair Cash. Is there any discussion on the substitute? All right. Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to substitute, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. It's back to you to renew your motion.
Thank you. Please move the bill as substituted.
Okay. All right. Is there a second on approval of the rule as substituted? Okay. Now we're on to discussion on that. Mr. Parker, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, and I want to thank Council Members Coupin and Cash for their work on this. I was initially very skeptical about the proposed rule change, specifically because I didn't like the idea of, some folks having the opportunity for their interview to be reviewed by the council, and then other folks for the interview to occur right before an election. That seemed to run counter to the significant process improvement that we made, which now allows council members time to review those. This substitute, as I'm reading it, would defer the election out, so there would be time for that additional interview opportunity, as well as time for council members to review both or however many interviews there are for a given position. So I am going to be voting in support of the Rule 50 amendment as substituted, and I appreciate all the work on this.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Parker. Next is Councilmember Welsh. Go ahead, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I am rising in opposition to this change to the rules as substituted, actually all across the board. I think that's a very slippery slope when we start changing rules to accommodate things that this does not happen very often. And in fact, the only times that I can remember this happening are with nominees of the actual sponsor of this bill. I feel like there are certain requirements when you are nominated to serve on a board or commission. And one of them is to show up at prescribed times for your interviews. And the substitute allows a nominee to actually change the entire schedule of how this council goes through and affects the lives of other nominees for the position. So I feel like it's a very, very slippery slope when we start changing rules. I don't think it's a lot to ask nominees to show up when they are required to show up, and they should know from the very beginning when they are nominated what that schedule is. It's already laid out very clearly what the time frame is. So I am rising in opposition to this, and I ask my colleagues to not support this also. Thank you.
All right. Chair Cash, you're recognized.
Thanks. I understand that it would be ideal if every person that we nominate could make it on a specific date, but that doesn't always happen. It doesn't happen with mayoral appointees. We frequently have one or two that we have to defer, as I referred to tonight with my report. We should, number one, we should be putting good folks on these boards and commissions. And that is number one, and it is second that they can come on one specific date. Now, also, it's the Rules Committee and the full council that has the power to decide if that reason is a good enough reason to delay the election. And so, if you have somebody that a nominee that you're going to defer, be ready to explain why they're not able to make it. But that said, I do believe that there are a number of criteria we should be considering, and not only whether or not they can make it on one specific date with relatively short notice. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Next, Councilmember Suara, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I do have a question. Does the substitute say that the nominee has to share where the person is not able to make it?
Chair Cash, would you like to clarify that?
I don't believe that it does specifically say they have to share. I would say it's going to be good practice for the person who's nominated that person to be ready to share that reason when they ask for a deferral of the Rules Committee and a deferral of the full council. And if council members don't hear that reason, then they certainly have a right to not vote for the deferral.
Okay, thank you. And I think with that, it changes things for me. We have a lot of situations. I'm so thankful to people that serve on our boards and committees. These are volunteers, and they're giving up their time, so I'm very much appreciative of that. But we've also had situations where people serve on committees that they don't show up, that we don't have quorum, that we have issues with. We all have jobs and things happen. Yes, I understand that. So for me, I don't see the need to change this, because I felt like some people do make the time to show up. Now, I would have been okay with it if there was the provision that says that there will be a meeting or a conversation about the reason to make sure that somebody is not just delaying the process. But that is not there. We're assuming that will happen. And so that's not good enough for me. So I actually want to move that we defer this one meeting to be able to look into if there's a need to look at the reason for not coming. And if this body, like Chair Cash said, or the Rules Committee is going to determine whether this person is not just taking up our time and there's good enough reason to defer, I would like that language in that rule. Thank you.
All right. You are making a motion to defer.
Yes, please.
Is there a second for the motion to defer? Okay, it has been properly seconded, and so we are on discussion on the motion to defer consideration of this rule as substituted 1 meeting. Mr. Coupin, do you seek to be recognized on the deferral? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate the thoughtfulness going into this. I think it's a really important rule to be considering. I guess I would be curious to my colleague if that language was added into the bill. Would that then make her supportive of it, or is that kind of what we're looking to get at with the deferral, or just to understand better what that requirement would be?
Ms. Swara, go ahead. let's not get in the habit of this back and forth, but go ahead.
Yes. Yes, because one of the things, remember that one of the issue is we don't want somebody to just on their own whim, for whatever reason, decide that they're not just coming when other people have showed up. And that changed the process for the entire county. The chair of the Rules Committee stood up and said, no, that will not happen because we will get to decide whether that was a good enough reason. But that's not in the rule. He said we'll have to assume that will automatically happen. I don't want that to leave that to assumption. I don't want us to run into where people just don't show up and we don't know why and we just automatically extend. It's not fair to the people that showed up. So if we're doing this because there's a circumstance that warrants it, then let's know that's the reason, and that makes good sense to me. So
All
that's
right.
the reason.
So back to you, Mr. Coupin. You have some remaining time.
I'll yield that time. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to move then to the next in the queue. All right. Councilmember Porterfield on the deferral motion. Ms. Toombs on the deferral. Ms. Allen on the deferral. All right. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the importance of knowing that they didn't just, didn't have time, and that's going to be representative of how they treat the committees, because I think that is an important commitment to establish. But I just want to read the language one more time as we decide whether this is sufficient or not. It says a nominee's appearance before the Rules Committee may be deferred once for no more than one meeting upon the separate approvals of the Rules Committee and the Council. And what is inferred there is that the Rules Committee and the Council will wonder why they were absent and expect a good reason before they approve it. And I appreciate the fact that the council member wants to have that explicitly stated. But that language does seem to me to not make it an automatic deferral. It at least requires two different bodies to vote on that approval. And my hope is that they will be thoughtful and ask why they were absent. So I feel like to some degree there is some language there. It may not be as explicit as it needs to be, but to me that's part of the discussion. I feel good about this, but if the majority doesn't, I understand why.
All righty. Councilmember Coupin, I'll come back to you since your earlier time had not expired, sir. We do have Ms. Evans in the queue. Do you want me to come back to you at the end? Okay. No, okay. All right. Mr. Coupin, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate the consideration of my colleagues, and I think that's important to make sure that question is asked. I do agree with Councilmember Allen. I don't believe that the Rules Committee questions that are asked of various nominees are codified either, but obviously if a nominee is coming before the committee, there would be questions asked, and if I, for example, came before the committee to say that my nominee couldn't make it at this day and time, I imagine the first question that would be asked is why. And if I said, well, I can't tell you, I imagine that would not go well, right? So I think that that's kind of inferred. It's only able to happen once, one time. And again, when we look at even the ones that are before us now, we're getting notices on our desk now for a interview in a couple weeks, and so I think that we should be putting good people on boards and commissions and making sure that not just a single day and time is limiting for them. So I'm open to a deferral if I felt that more time would help the bill. I think that the concern of my colleague is kind of baked already into it. I think it's something that we've heard on record this evening. I think it's something that should and would be asked both in the committee and body itself. So I'm not supportive of a deferral at this time. I think that that's already kind of baked into the implied piece of the legislation.
All right. Ms. Evans on the deferral. Yep. No? Okay. Sorry. I apologize. I saw you in the queue. Ms. Swara on the deferral. Okay. Please be brief, ma'am.
Thank you. When I asked the chair if that language was in the substitute, the answer was a no. And so that was the deal for the deferral. That language that says that it has to be approved by the Rules Committee, I think suffices, and so I withdraw the deferral motion.
Right, okay, so the motion to defer is withdrawn, and thus we are back on the primary motion, the initial motion to approve this rule change as substituted. At this juncture, Ms. Porterfield, you seek to be recognized. All right, Madam Pro Tem, go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I also have concerns mirroring what Councilmember Walsh said about this now changing the trajectory of us taking these votes. I know it was mentioned that people don't get a lot of notice. The piece of paper that's on our desk today is giving us notice and letting us know that if we nominate somebody on the April 21st meeting, they need to be here by May 7th. This was emailed to us yesterday. So we're getting at least a month notice to make sure that whoever we're interested in nominating is available. So it is incumbent upon us to check in with whoever it is that we're nominating to make sure that they're available. I do have concerns about, we've had attendance issues with some of our boards and commissions, and we want to be very mindful that this is a volunteer position. So we're very thankful for our residents who serve in this capacity. And we also want to make sure that people are able to show up for the commitment. So at this point, I don't support it. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Toombs, Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I stand in support of this rule change. I agree with Chair Cash that just because someone can't make this specific date on typically short notice doesn't mean they can't be a valuable member of a board or commission. Some folks have work obligations that are set months in advance, and it just doesn't work for them to be on that, to come and be interviewed on that date. This just pushes an election back potentially on the vote of the Rules Committee and the full council for one meeting. So it's not a continuous deferral. It's given one exception, and it's been more than just the sponsor of this rule change who's had nominees that could not make the interview date. So I think that this is reasonable. And again, it's up to the Rules Committee as well as the full council to vet whether or not it's a good reason to move the election. I don't think that moving anything one meeting is that big of a detriment or shows that someone can't be a valuable member of a board or commission. So I support it.
All right, Mr. Cupin, you are briefly recognized. Ms. Porterfield, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. I'll be very brief on this, but I appreciate all the discussion. I think that we've heard a lot about attendance issues and quorums, and if these interviews were taking place at the time of the commission that someone was going to serve and the day they were supposed to serve, then perhaps that would be an indicator. But for example, the most recent one I could think of was actually nominated by another one of my colleagues, not myself, and they were unavailable at a time that is not the same day or time of the meeting that they would be required to attend if they were able to serve. So I do think attendance is a big issue and big thing to address, but I'm not sure that giving someone 30-day notice and then saying, you got to be here this day or time as an indicator of your ability to show up is necessarily indicative. And I think, we've got a lot of great people that want to serve on boards and commissions, and I think we owe it to the public and owe it to ourselves, right? The mayor's office, vice mayor's office can appoint people, and if they can't make it, they can defer. And I think we should also have that ability, again, not continuously. If someone can't come the first time and they can't come the second time, all right, well, maybe this isn't your cycle to serve, but to give people just at least 2 opportunities to come before us, I think is very reasonable. And as Councilwoman Toombs said, I think one meeting adjustment shouldn't make too much of a difference. And again, this is not a given, right? This is still something that has to move through the Rules Committee and the Council. So appreciate the support.
Ms. Porterfield, Ms. Evans has not yet been recognized. Are you okay? Go ahead, Ms. Evans. Oh.
I hit my button by accident.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Question.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's a motion to call the previous question. This requires a second. Is there a second? Okay. This is a non-debatable motion. It requires 2/3 of those voting. We will attempt to first do it by voice, where I remind members this is by number, not volume. Okay. If you are in favor of the previous question, you want to end debate on this rule change. If you are against, if you are a no vote, you want to continue the discussion. All in favor of the previous question, please say aye. Aye. Those voting no? No. Okay. Okay. Understood, Ms. Porterfield, understood. Okay, so we have called the previous question, and we will now move to the vote. This rules change requires 27 votes, and so in an abundance of caution, we will go on the machine. Mr. Clerk, if you would please open the vote. This is for the change to Rule of Procedure 50 as substituted. All right, with all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right, this rule change has passed barely with 27 votes in favor, 6 against, and 0 abstentions. Special counsel, could you please share when by rule this rule will be applicable, please, sir?
Councilmember, this rule, or Vice Mayor, forgive me, this rule amendment will take effect in 30 days.
All right. Members be advised, this will not be in effect at the next meeting, but rather, I presume, yes, with our first meeting in May happening on a Thursday, in fact, we will definitely be within that 30-day window. So this will be applicable for the meeting of May 7th. Okay. All right, we are now moving into section J of our agenda, bills on public hearing. Spanish interpretation services are provided for all Metro Council public hearings. Council Office team member Karina Valdez is here as the interpreter. Ms. Valdez, will you please share how you can help?
Los servicios de interpretación estarán disponibles en la audiencia pública. Gracias.
Gracias. We appreciate you. All right. For those wishing to speak this evening as part of public hearings, please do state your name, but it is not required for you to provide your exact address if you do not wish to do so. You may want to tell us in what neighborhood or area you live, your connection to an agenda item or project, or who your council member is. Okay? All right. All right, the first item for public hearing this evening, in fact, there are two which are companions to each other, agenda items 1 and 2. This is ordinance BL 2025-703 and its companion 704. Sponsors Gadd, Horton, and Allen. Just for the record, I will share that this 703 is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government, by applying a historic landmark overlay district for property located at 4301 Harding Pike. This is 296 feet southwest of Woodlawn Drive. It is Zone CS and located within the Harding White Bridge Urban Design Overlay. It is 3.99 acres, and 704 is its companion that requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings at the addresses in 703. Planning and Zoning Chair Horton, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to ask for a brief clarification from planning staff in Councilmember Gadd's absence. I've been requested to defer this to the first meeting in October. Question whether to hold the public hearing and defer second or to defer third. I wonder if they may have any instruction on how Councilmember Gadd wishes this to be handled.
Hang on. Planning table, Mr. Lehman, you're recognized, sir.
Yes, I think the request would be to defer it to the October public hearing so that the public hearing would be held in October.
I'd like to move the second reading and public hearing to the first meeting in October.
Okay. There's a motion to defer this bill's second reading and its public hearing. These two bills, rather, 703 and 704 at the request of the sponsor. Is there a second? Okay, properly seconded. Is there any discussion on that deferral motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Okay, any voting no or abstaining? All right, 703 and 704 by sponsor Gadd and Horton as well are deferred to the first meeting and the public hearing in October of this year. All right. Next is agenda item 3. This is ordinance BL 2026-1195, sponsor Stiles. This is an ordinance amending Title 17 of the Metro Code of Laws to remove the bar or nightclub use from being permitted within the shopping center zoning districts. Councilmember Stiles, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. I'm actually going to withdraw this bill this evening. Thank you.
I hope you are feeling okay there.
Allergies.
I know, my goodness. Okay. All right.
Damn
so Councilmember Stiles' ordinance 1195 has been withdrawn. Okay? All right. Next is agenda item 4. This is ordinance BL 2026-1257. Sponsors Parker, Horton, and Vo. This is an ordinance amending chapters 17.16 and 17.40 of the Metro Code of Laws to permit detached accessory dwelling units, also known as DADUs, on legally created residential lots with non-conforming lot area. Councilmember Parker, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
All right. Okay, I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Parker's ordinance 1257. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Okay. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? Okay, seeing no one here in opposition, does the person in support seek to be recognized? He is shaking his head no. And so with that, Mr. Parker, I will declare the public hearing closed, and it's back to you for a motion on your bill.
Thank you. I'd like to move approval.
All right. Is there a second? Okay, it's properly moved and seconded. We're on to discussion. Sponsor Parker, anything you wish to say? There's no one else in the queue for discussion.
Thank you. No, I believe this is sort of like a technical correction to the data code, so appreciate colleague support.
All righty. This bill is on its second of 3 readings. Seeing no one in the queue for discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right. This has passed its second of 3 readings. Next is agenda item 5, ordinance BL 2026-1303, sponsor Benedict. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government, by changing from RS 7.5 to R8A zoning for property located at 800 Gwynn Drive at the southeast corner of Patapsco Street and Gwynn Drive. This is 0.32 acres. Councilmember Benedict, you are recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Hopefully this might be the last time you say Patapsco. You've said that many times on this bill or bills like this.
Interesting street names around here.
I'd appreciate it if you'd open the public hearing.
Yes. I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Benedict's ordinance 1303. Would all members of the public here in support of this resolution please raise your hand? Okay. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? All right, seeing none, and with the gentleman in support already at the podium, I do presume he wishes to speak, and so you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, council members, for allowing me to speak this evening. I really appreciate the opportunity, and Councilwoman Benedict. I'm a transplant, like most, so I pre-apologize for that. I'm from Minnesota. I purchased the home on Gwynn Drive in the very late of December of 24 for an opportunity to build a home down here. When I purchased the home, it was in tough conditions with some water damage and some mold and some other issues. The initial project was going to be putting a second floor and extending it and turning it into about a 2,000 square foot home from about a 900 square foot home. Upon getting into the process a little bit and removing some siding and some interior drywall, we slowly realized there was a lot of water damage that ran behind the walls and was really starting to structurally affect the property. My business partner, being a co-owner of this property, who's a developer and a general contractor, we realized that the home itself was going to need to be completely built from the ground up. It was at this point I decided to come down to the planning and zoning department to take a look at it, because the property being at the end of the street with Patapsco is a double lot in the back and a single in the front, and kind of a weird triangle thing. So we looked it up online. It was an RS75. And I said, before we get into the whole thing, let me go and just have somebody tell me to my face. Upon doing that, I realized that it was originally zoned an R8A when it was originally built, I believe, in the late 40s. So with that, and with us wanting to take the house completely to the ground and rebuild, we were seeking and started the process probably over a year ago to have it return to its original designation. And so from there, we entered the process, got through, and then being a little bit of a naive newcomer, I thought I was all done and finished when I got stamped and got approved. And it wasn't until about 6 months later that I realized that it was not. So I'm seeking to remedy the situation as quickly as possible and to get this back on track.
All right, your time has concluded. Yep. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Seeing no one else here seeking to be recognized in opposition. All right, seeing none, I will declare the public hearing closed, and it is back to you, Ms. Benedict, for a motion on your bill. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm all over the place. Go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move approval.
All right, go ahead.
Sure. So I appreciate Mr. McKiernan coming tonight. As we exchanged emails today, I did receive some opposition just today about this, so I appreciate him coming out and sharing some information with me. I am going to make sure that this gets shared with the couple of constituents who had concerns, and so I'm going to go back and speak to Mr. McKiernan in just a moment to address those concerns. But with that, I seek your approval, colleagues. Thank you.
All right, there is a motion to approve, properly seconded for this ordinance on its second of 3 readings. Is anyone seeking to be recognized for discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstentions? All right, this has passed its second reading. Next is agenda item 6, ordinance BL 2026-1304, sponsor Harrell. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government, by amending a specific plan for property located at 2304 Hobson Pike. This is approximately 207 feet northeast of Beach Mist Way. Zoned SP, this is 12.15 acres to permit a daycare center. All right, Mr. Harrell, you are recognized, sir.
Please open the public hearing.
Okay. I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Harrell's Bill 1304. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Thank you. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? Seeing no one here in opposition, do the persons here in support seek to be recognized or speak? They are shaking their heads no. Is that okay? All righty. And so with that, I will declare the public hearing closed. And it's back to you, Mr. Harrell, for a motion on your bill.
I'd like to move forward with a brief comment and also seeking approval.
Okay, go ahead.
So this particular development, we did a 55 and up community, and they had additional land on that space, and we wanted to add a another positive feature into the community that was not residential housing, or that was not one of the things that the community had concerns with. And so we land with making this a daycare. And so that's where we landed. Thank you. I ask everyone to approve.
All righty. You've heard an explanation from the sponsor. Is anyone else seeking discussion on this matter? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right, this has passed its second of 3 readings. Next is agenda items 7 and 8. They are companions to each other. Agenda item 7 is ordinance BL 2026-1305, sponsor Vo. And again, its companion 1306, also sponsor Vo. 1305 is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, zoning ordinance of the Metro government by changing from R8 to SP zoning for the property located at 1027 Wade Avenue at the southeast corner of Wade Avenue and 11th Avenue South. This is 0.14 acres to permit 4 multifamily residential units, and 1306 is the ordinance that requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings at the address in 1305. Ms. Vo, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
All right. I declare the public hearing open for Council Member Vo's ordinances 1305 and 1306, agenda items 7 and 8. Would all members of the public here in support of these bills please raise your hands? Thank you. Would all members of the public here in opposition to these bills please raise your hand? Seeing no one here in opposition, do the gentlemen here in support seek to be recognized? Ms. Vo, they are shaking their heads no. And so with that, I will declare the public hearing closed. And it's back to you. You may make a consolidated motion to get these bills before us.
Yes, I'd like to move for approval.
All right.
And consolidated.
Okay, there's a motion to approve ordinances 1305 and 1306. It's properly seconded. Is there any discussion of these bills on second reading? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, these have passed second reading. Next is agenda item 9, ordinance BL 2026-1307, sponsors Gadd and Horton. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, by changing from OR 20 to SP zoning for the property located at 100 Kenner Avenue, approximately 315 feet northeast of Ridgefield Drive. This is 0.34 acres and located within the Harding White Bridge Urban Design Overlay to permit a mixed-use development. Councilmember Horton, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing, please.
All right. I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Gadd and Horton's Bill 1307. This is agenda item 9. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Thank you. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? Seeing no one here in opposition to the persons here in support seek to be recognized or speak, they are shaking their heads no, Chair Horton. And with that, I will close the public hearing, and it's back to you for a motion.
Thank you. I'd like to move for approval, please.
All right. There's a motion to approve, and it is properly seconded on ordinance 1307 on second reading. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this has passed its second of 3 readings. Next is agenda item 10. This is ordinance BL 2026-1308, sponsor Gregg. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by changing from IWD, ORI, and SP to MULNS zoning for properties located at 911, 911, 920, and 921 Perimeter Court, located approximately 285 feet southeast of Perimeter Place Drive. This is 14.07 acres. Councilmember Gregg, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
All right. I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Gregg's ordinance 1308, agenda item 10. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Thank you. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? Okay, seeing no one here in opposition to the persons here in support seek to be recognized. They are shaking their head no, and so with that, Councilman Gregg, I will declare the public hearing closed, and it's back to you for a motion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval.
All right, properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this ordinance? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstentions? All right, this has passed its second of 3 readings. Next is agenda item 11. This is ordinance BL 2026-1309, sponsor Parker. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from RS10 to RM20ANS zoning for properties located at 3311, 3313, 3315A, 3317, and 3319 Walton Lane, approximately 34 feet west of Arrowhead Drive. This is 4.13 acres. Councilmember Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to open the public hearing.
All right, I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Parker's ordinance 1309. This is agenda item 11. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Thank you, sir. I see you. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? All right, seeing no one here in opposition, does the person here in support seek to be recognized? Shaking his head no. And so with that, I will declare the public hearing closed. It's back to you for a motion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval.
All right, there's a motion to approve and it's properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, ordinance 1309 has passed its second of 3 readings. Next is agenda item 12. This is ordinance BL 2026-1310. Sponsor Taylor. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by changing from RS5 to R6A zoning for property located at 2507 Meharry Boulevard, approximately 166 feet west of 25th Avenue North. This is 0.17 acres and within a detached accessory dwelling unit overlay district. Councilmember Taylor is not here. Ms. Toombs, are you willing to sign on? Mr. Clerk, if you would please make a note of it. All right, now co-sponsor Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Request to open the public hearing.
All right, I declare the public hearing open on Councilmember Taylor's ordinance 1310. This is agenda item 12. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Thank you. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? Seeing no one here in opposition, does the person or persons here in support seek to be recognized or speak? Not you, Mr. Scout, the person back there who raised their hand. No? Okay, with that, I will declare the public hearing closed. And with that, it's back to you, Ms. Toombs.
Move for approval.
All right, there's a motion to approve and is properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this bill on its second of 3 readings? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? Okay, 1310 has passed its second of 3 readings. Next is agenda item 13. This is ordinance BL 2026-1311. Sponsor Kimbrough. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by amending a portion of a planned unit development overlay district to permit 120 multifamily residential units on property located at 201 Gifford Place, located at the corner of Gifford Place and Whites Creek Pike. This is 3.17 acres zoned CS and within a planned unit development overlay district. Ms. Kimbrough, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
All right. I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Kimbrough's ordinance 1311. This is agenda item 13. Would all members of the public here in support of this bill please raise your hand? Thank you. All right. Would all members of the public here in opposition to this bill please raise your hand? All right. Okay. So quite a lot of opposition here. So I'm going to be presumptive and presume that those here in support will seek to be recognized and speak. Supporting speakers will go first. If those in support would go ahead and come forward. If you do seek to speak in small groups, please do not block our door for ingress and egress purposes. Folks in opposition will speak after the supporting speakers have concluded. All right, go ahead, sir, you're recognized.
Madam President, members of the council, my name is Sean Henry. I'm with Toon Intrigan and White Law Firm, 511th Avenue North. I represent the Better Housing Group. My clients are here tonight and want to address you, but they are under contract to purchase the former Days Inn, which has been on the property for many decades, and we're talking about the interchange of I-24 and Jolton. The Gifford PUD has been around since 1977. And it's a mixed-use PUD, one of the oldest in Davidson County. The planning department staff has done a really good job of thorough analysis and history of this property, and I want to just reference a little bit of their information. This property has been approved in the past for gas station use, fast food use, motel, which is the subject property, automotive servicing, and that was in 1977 by this Metro Council. 20 years after that, a bowling alley was added, skating rink, campground. It was approved for, there's a church on the property, a boarding house was added just not too many years ago. So you've had a wide range of uses over many years of time, and the time has come to add more residential to this property. So this proposal is merely to change the existing Days Inn, which has 117 rooming units, and to convert those to multifamily housing. The Planning Commission unanimously approved that, and that's because the neighborhood center policy that applies to this property and that interchange calls for a mix of commercial, mixed-use, residential, and institutional uses that have been there for many, many decades. So we have an evolution here, but importantly, we've got a new investment in a really tired old piece of property, and the housing is in need more than ever. I have a few letters of support. I'd like to file them for the record, and I appreciate your vote tonight.
All right, if you would please relay those to the Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening. My name is David Carlson. The zip code of my residence is 37205. District 34. My interest in this particular matter is from the perspective of the investment and development side of the proposed conversion of the former Days Inn to permanent affordable workforce housing in Jolton. I'd like to start by thanking Council Lady Kimbrough for her support in this process. I'd also like to thank all of you for allowing us to present our case this evening. And while we may not be in ultimate agreement regarding the proposed rezoning at the subject property, I would like to thank the citizens of Jolton and District 1 for meeting with us on several occasions in the last few months to discuss their thoughts regarding the proposed project. The facts of the matter are clear in Davidson County as it relates to the current state of permanent housing as well as the future state of permanent housing. We're short the number of doors that are currently needed, and absent a viable plan coupled with the efforts and creativity of outside capital, this problem will only worsen in coming years. Our motivation for this project is simple: to be part of one group of what we hope will eventually be a number of groups attacking the problem head on in order to address the issue of permanent, affordable workforce housing. Absent our plan to convert an older hotel currently used for relatively transient guests to 120 units available for one-year leases, the future of the subject property is unknown at this time, and it could very well continue as an outdated property. However, there's a significantly higher degree of clarity around the future of the Gifford Place property under the plan we have proposed. Our plan involves spending more than $3 million above the cost of acquiring the property to improve the premises and bring it to a standard of longer-term living, new furnishings, kitchenettes, and other amenities. Most importantly, we believe the nature of longer-term leases improves the overall prospects of the property, and the permanence of longer-term residents rather than short-term transient hotel guests is a net positive for the Jolton community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Go ahead, come on up. You're recognized.
Thank you for the time. My name is Abhishek Mathur. I'm in District 34, also involved with this project as a sponsor. My partner just went through quite a bit of the history behind the property. As a Nashville resident, I just really want to highlight the fact that housing is one of the biggest concerns that we have as citizens of this city. And regardless of what community we're in, we're trying to help create housing in each of those communities. In this particular instance, we're not changing walls, we're not changing a building other than improving it, keeping those walls and really improving the nature of that building so people can choose to live in it for up to a year or longer, depending on the leases they sign. That's an improvement and betterment for not just this community, but overall the city itself, because that housing is a shortage that we all know of. There's a lot of literature about what the status of housing will be, affordable housing in this city 1 year down the road, 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road. And I think by supporting this project, you're not only helping 120 families that will be able to live here, but also ensuring that there's support for future developers to invest money in Nashville and bring more housing here to help solve this problem for all of our citizenship. So thank you again for the time.
Thank you. Next, you're recognized.
Yes, my name is Thomas Fowler. I've lived in the Jolton area after moving there for about a year and a half. I really don't see a problem in the world with growth and getting affordable housing for the area. If 120 people can be housed and it can be affordable living and it can improve their quality of life, and it turns an old property that's, a transient hotel that really doesn't bring good things to the area at all, I'm all for it. Other than that, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir. You're recognized.
Good evening. My name is Quincy Blackman, and I was at the last meeting, but I wasn't able to speak due to I had throat surgery, so I apologize. But I thank you for your time right now. I am for approval of departments for Jolton. I am a resident of Jolton. I'm in the Falls area. Like I said, I see the change. I'm ready for the change, and I think it'll be a good thing for the city also. Thank you.
All right. Next, sir, former council member Scott Davis. You're recognized, sir. Welcome back.
Good afternoon. You're probably like, I'm an East Nashville resident. How am I involved in this project? Well, the gentleman with the hat on is my childhood best friend, Mr. Fowler. Originally, when talk about this hotel started, he's like, hey, my best friend from high school, and he was also one of my groomsmen at my wedding. I was like, hey, you know all about this zoning stuff. Is this true what they're saying? Are they going to build 120 units? And I'm like, they're going to build where? And so I had to go to the meeting, and when they were signing a petition, and so I went, and I'm like, oh, they're just improving the older hotel that's there. And then we were like, well, what's wrong with improving? All they're doing is they approved my plan unanimously. I was at the two meetings, Council Lady Kimbrough held for the community. And as a former council member that lived off of Dickerson Road and experiencing what old hotels do when they get that old, we've had issues in the past, and I'm no shade on the owner of this hotel, but renovating it and making it affordable housing for residents is a way better idea. Because once again, I'm not downing any hotel owners on Dickerson Road or anything, but as a former council member, a former neighborhood chair, I've had to pull a lot of people with the help of a wonderful police and a lot of our services from bad situations out of those older hotels. And I look at these residents, I told them this at the first meeting, trust me, you don't want an old hotel that's falling apart in your neighborhood. Renovate it, make it affordable housing. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you, sir. Okay. Go ahead, sir. You're recognized.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dean Patel. We are part of the current ownership of the hotel. The intention of buying the hotel was to adaptive reuse of it. Myself, I've been on Trinity Lane and Brick Pike for many years, part of Ms. Toombs's district. We've had the privilege of turning 3 old hotels, that was the old Super 8, the King's Inn, and Roadway Inn, into adaptive reuse that have been wonderful. One of them is the Wilder, the other one is the Sahana, and the third one is the Percher. It's been great. We've got 90% occupancy. I don't think we have had any issues with Metro police officers or anybody coming in there crime. They're all screened. We actually had the privilege back in January of giving a tour to all the residents that was in Jolton to come out there. We had about 20 of them come in and out. Obviously, everybody has positive, negative things, but the use of this property, we feel, is putting $3 million towards the hotel versus putting $3 million investment towards affordable living. It makes more sense for affordable living. Is going to be long-term. Putting $3 million for a hotel to be reused for a hotel won't work at all because the pricing won't work. But as far as adaptive reuse for rezoning and apartments is going to be made more better than that. So our request is that we're here to put more funding into the property, and hopefully we can get your support and blessings for it. We've already did 3 of them that are successful, and if everybody knows this property and on Trinity Lane, this is a little bit further, so we'll always screen everybody that comes through, and we have the privileges of partnering with the better affordable group over here that's bringing the funding and help us bring this project to fruition. So we hope to get all your support. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Is anyone else seeking to be recognized to speak in support? Seeing none, with that, we will move to those in opposition who wish to speak. If you do, please come forward. We ask that you do not make a line that blocks the door, but you are welcome. Go ahead, Mr. Moore, also former council member. Sir, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Don't start my time yet. Let me clarify. I've never been a council member.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Moore. I apologize.
That's quite all right. You're not the first one.
Firefighter, public servant. We appreciate you, sir. I'm sorry.
Former state rep.
Yeah. And state rep. I knew you were an elected officer. The Honorable Gary Moore, who I messed up his role. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Chair, thank you. And distinguished council members, thank each and every one of you for your time. Obviously, I'm opposed to it for obvious reasons. Let me start by saying I've lived in the Jolton community for 46 years. 43 of those years I lived in District 1 until the last redistricting, and I became a member of District 10. However, I'm 2.1 miles from a Days Inn. I've been stated in several different cases that District 10 is irrelevant to what's going on in District 1. I would ask you to look at the video that I sent to you via email that Council Lady Webb spoke very clearly about. We should not let district lines divide our communities, and that's first. Secondly, as it regards specifically to the Days Inn, we are a rural community and have been for a long time, and we will probably remain that way for quite some time because of infrastructure. We are not, and it's no disrespect for Brick Church Pike or Dickerson Road, but we're not Brick Church Pike or Dickerson Road. We are a rural community full of rural people, and it's not justifiable to put that there. And I sent in an email, 126 signatures of people that were opposed to it. I would ask, if possible, Madam Chair, that those 126 names be added as a matter of record. They were sent via email. Is that permissible?
Yes, sir. Special counsel is, Mr. Clerk, how do we usually handle that, sir?
That can be forwarded.
Okay, if you would, we will forward it to Mr. Clerk and enter it into the record. Thank you, Mr. Moore.
And I have always advocated for what the people in the community wanted. And you alluded to the fact I have been an elected official, and when I was elected, I did what the people, constituents wanted. And obviously my time's up, but thank you, Madam Chair, for your time, and thank you, council members, for listening to me.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Next, go ahead, sir. You're recognized.
My name is Mark James, living on the D1 side of Morgan Road. I did send an email out to everybody. Hopefully it got read. I had a lot of details in there about the tour on Trinity Lane and how it differs from Jolton. And The thing that I don't understand is how a council person can go against a community. And we had various meetings, and I just don't understand it. But just like Gary said, there's a petition with 126 names. There's about 10 of us here tonight. There's been people for it, too, saying they live in Jolton, and the rest of them are for the investors. So the way I see it is a no vote tonight will be for all the people of Jolton. A yes vote will be for a group of investors. And I'm just going to leave it at that, and I hope people will answer to my email, because the question I asked everybody, including Ms. Kimbrough, 2 times now, what benefit does this have for Jolton? And I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, go ahead. You're recognized.
Good evening. My name is Bob Shirey. I'm a resident of Jolton. I've been there for almost 5 years now. I am vehemently opposed to this. No one has expressed the fact, well, they have expressed the fact that this is going to be family residential. No one has expressed the fact that these are 300 square foot hotel rooms that are being converted into residential workforce housing. Jolton does not have the infrastructure to support what we believe would be up to 240 residents in this property. The road conditions, traffic conditions where this property sits will not support 120 or more cars coming in and out of it every day. There's no work in the greater Jolton area for people to be going to. And certainly the rest of the infrastructure, including our schools, including our first responders who are already overworked, it is very difficult for us to get response from the North Precinct, which is the precinct that covers us. Nothing against that, but we're at the end of the county. We need council support to not allow this to happen, because Jolton doesn't have space for this many residents until something else changes. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're recognized.
I'm Dr. Leslie Benmark. I've lived in Davidson County for 55 years and in Jolton for over 35 years. We need Days Inn to stay as a motel. I've had friends and family stay there on various occasions when they come to visit. Many came when my husband died, who worked for Metro for 25 years, when he died about 10 years ago. Most recently, in January, I had 10 days rental at the Days Inn because we had no electricity. I rented a room. It had a king-size bed, very clean, very comfortable, had a television, had a microwave, had a refrigerator. My Rottweiler enjoyed it. He stayed there with me. It is important to have facilities like that in our very rural community. It's comfortable. I said the room was good. At a local meeting we had about a month ago, I guess, the owner of the motel said, hey, if this doesn't go through, we'll keep the motel going. That's what we need. We need it to stay a motel in Jolton. I was lucky enough, my home is about 1.5 miles. I could leave the motel, go check, see how things are going, see if the electricity was on, because we had no notification of when the electricity was turned on. We needed this facility. It is a great facility, and we need to keep it in Jolton. Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate your husband's service to Metro government. Go ahead, ma'am. You're next.
My name is Lorenda McLaughlin, and I'm a lifelong citizen of Jolton. I appreciate you all, your time and your service to our communities. However, I listened to the people who are in support of this bill. Mr. Henry, the 3 gentlemen sitting on the front, the one that lives in the Falls, he is right there in that proximity. My understanding is the gentleman in the hat lives actually in Cheatham County with the Jolton address. we represent a small number of the people that showed up to these meetings. At the last meeting, Ms. Kimbrough would not accept a vote, a show of hands vote. I would like for you, if possible, to have a vote on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Nash, a council member, shared with me that you were as well a council member. Is that accurate? Thank you for your service. We're just having Old Home Day night here. All right. Is anyone else seeking to be recognized to speak in opposition? Seeing none, I will declare the public hearing closed, and it's back to you, Ms. Kimbrough, for a motion on this bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval with a brief comment.
All right, it's properly moved and seconded. Go ahead, ma'am.
All right. I appreciate everyone that came out. I know it took the time and effort, and we have had 2 meetings on this. And I have also invited the entire Jolton community to go to the property and look at it, take a look. What is it when you tour the property? So they did that, and the hotel had it open for them on a Saturday morning just for the Jolton community so they were able to see it. I really like this place. I said it's somewhere I would live, the one that I visited. So I think this is a really, really, really good idea, and it kind of saves the hotel because based on what the owners have told me, it will not remain a hotel. It's just not lucrative enough. They're not making money on it. So I think this is a wonderful idea. I think it's great for Jolton. I know change period is hard on a lot of people. I would like to say something about that vote because people indicated that I didn't take a vote, and I didn't. I was just simply asking, are you taking a vote? And I said no. And that's because we were having a meeting. They were there. They answered the questions. We just didn't take a vote. There was no mandatory or reason to take a vote. Initially, one of the people who were here today called me, and when I asked, why are you opposed to this, he said, we just don't want those type of people here. When I asked him what type of people, he said poor people. That's what he said. I was sent a Facebook post today from a gentleman from Jolton that has said, I have had a wonderful life in Jolton. Thankful to be out of Jolton after 33 years. Bordeaux is coming. This will speed the process. Sometimes people are just afraid of people they're not used to seeing every day being around them. And that is not about any type of objective issue with the zoning. Well, it's just removing the PUD. But I think this is a great idea. I think it will be great for Jolton. I welcome it, and I move for approval.
All right, there is already a motion to approve, which was properly seconded, and now we are on to discussion. First in the queue is Councilmember Nash. You're recognized, sir.
These are always tough calls. We have several motels that have been converted near District 27 that do provide some transitional housing for people that really need transitional housing. But they're also in areas where there's plenty of bus service, for instance, transportation, so people can go to work. And I would ask the sponsor, what's your sense of, number one, the employment opportunities out there and the transportation accessibility?
Ms. Kimbrough, can you speak to transit accessibility and employment, Mr. Nash? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Well, I'll say we have approved Choose How You Move, so we do have that. But I want to say this is near the interstate where you already have the infrastructure, you have the amenities. It's where you would want a place like this to be. And I'd also like to say, I'm not doing this willy-nilly. I have not approved any apartments whatsoever, and we have had them try to come to District 1, and that's based on the people saying, no, we don't want it, no, we don't want it, no, we don't want it. I do what they ask me to do. District 1 has the lowest percentage renters out of all 35 districts, so I'm very careful and purposeful with what I do. This makes sense, and that's why I'm asking for the approval.
All right, back to you, Mr. Nash.
I'm not sure I heard. Is it on a bus line? Maybe that was my question.
Ms. Webb is nodding her head that yes, it is on a bus line.
Thank you. And then I would only ask for the recorded vote also, if that'd be possible.
Okay, so there is a request for a roll call. We need 3 seconds. Okay, so there are sufficient seconds to Mr. Nash's request for a roll call, such that when the discussion concludes and we move to a vote, it will be a roll call vote. Next in the queue is Councilmember Evans. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I am rising in support of this change. In 2019, I had entered office and I had 2 very troubled hotels, also near the interstate. I don't think that this sounds like this particular property is in the same condition as what I was facing, but I went down a very long and extended path of what was going to happen with these properties. One was in much better condition than the other, but to give everyone an idea, one had been set on fire and half of several buildings was missing from the back. And so it was dilapidated structures, really challenging situation, huge drain on public resources, including the police, Nashville Fire, et cetera. And so ultimately worked with a developer in the area to kind of figure out what were we going to do with these properties. And both of them ended up being converted into long-term housing. One was faster than the other. Both properties have a different identity than the other. One was done by an out-of-state company, but the amenities that they were able to at least add to one of the properties was much better than the previous condition. The fact that we were converting into housing that provided people who were already living there with protections, afforded by the Tennessee state law as much as they are in our state, was much better than the conditions that people were experiencing previously. We had owners that acquired the properties, that cared, that invested funding to make these conversions, to invest in the upgrades and everything to be able to have them. And the plus side is when we're hearing comments about infrastructure, we got new infrastructure in the area as a result of those conversions because we actually had more permanent residents. In addition, across the street, we're getting a new hotel as a result of some of those changes. And so there's definitely positives that can come from this experience. And so I would encourage everyone to keep an open mind when it comes to what this conversion looks like, because I think to the sponsor's point, we don't see her in here bringing a lot of radical changes to her district or doing anything that is, bringing substantial opposition. And so I support, the fact that she's done a thorough vetting process on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Next in the queue is Councilmember Benedict. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I rise in support of this. I think that this is the exact type of housing that we need in this city. We need to build housing that people can afford. 82% of Nashvillians cannot afford to buy a home in this city. So many people not just buy a home, but rent a place to live. And this is the opportunity. This is a great opportunity, and I'd like to see more of it in District 7, where we have the number 56 and the number 34. And I've got two hotels I'd love to look at and see if we couldn't get this done in those. One thing, I pulled this location up on Google Maps, promo for Google or Bing or, whatever the maps are out there. And this is at I-24, as was described. It actually is at Jolton Plaza, which is the park and ride for this area. So you go right onto I-24 on the bus line there. And I hear the concerns of the neighbors, and I understand that. I think one of the things that was talked about was traffic and, looking at going into Jolton. I think when I look at this map, I just don't see the need for people to be driving into Jolton for anything other than to frequent businesses, I hope, right? And put more money into the community. So I understand the change. I do think that this is, having micro units like this is crucial to housing people who are moving to the city. It is exactly the type of housing reform that this city and this council and our planning department and commission have been working on. And so I'm enthusiastically supportive of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Benedict. Next, Councilmember Toombs, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I stand in support of this project. As Mr. Patel, one of the speakers mentioned, he has been part of a development group that has renovated 3 hotels in my district. I actually have a 4th that was renovated. The renovations, they're really nice units. Yes, they are micro units, but they are extremely nice with really good finishes. The people that they have attracted are students, teachers, Metro employees, retired folks. It's really a diversity of people, and that's what you want to see. You want to have more people have access to affordable housing. You want to have a mix of people to diversify the community, and it does have, the advantages of being on the transit line and having access to a lot of different amenities. But it was a really good project for some hotels that were kind of problematic for the area, and it's really helped clean up the area and, again, bring in that diversity of folks who are looking for affordable housing in Nashville. So it's not those people, it's our college students, our teachers, our Metro employees, our retired folks who are just looking for a nice place to live, and this provides an opportunity to do that is with this project in Jolton, so I am in full support of it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Toombs. Next is Councilmember Huffman. Huffman, you're recognized, sir.
Previous question.
All right. Mr. Huffman has called the previous question thank you. It's a non-debatable motion, requires 2/3 of those voting. If you are in favor of the previous question, you want to end debate and move to the vote. If you want to continue the discussion, you will vote no. Again, by number, not by volume. All in favor of the previous question, please say aye. All opposed to the previous question, please say no. The ayes have it. The question is called, and we will move to the vote. There is a roll call vote requested and properly seconded. So, Mr. Clerk, if you would please load the vote for Ms. Kimbrough's Bill 1311 for approval on second of 3 readings. With all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right, this bill has passed its second of 3 readings with 29 votes in favor, 2 votes against, and 3 abstentions. Next are agenda items 14 and 15. They are companions to each other, and these are our last items on public hearing. Agenda item 14 is ordinance BL 2026-1312, sponsor Coupon, and 1313, its companion. 1312 is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by amending the River North Urban Design Overlay District for various properties located on Cowan Street, Cowan Court, and Waterside Drive. This is 165.21 acres to create a new sub-district 3 and update the general standards related to future streets and open space. And Bill 1313, the companion, is the ordinance that requires certain materials to be restricted in the construction of buildings within or related to 1312. And so with that, Mr. Coupon, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Open the public hearing, please.
All right. I declare the public hearing open for Councilmember Coupon's bills 1312 and 1313. If you all could please take your discussion outside. Thank you. These are agenda items 14 and 15. The public hearing for those is open. Would all members of the public here in support of Mr. Coupon's bills please raise your hand? All righty. Would all members of the public here in opposition to these bills please raise your hand? Seeing no one here in opposition, do the persons here in support seek to be recognized or speak? They are all pretty much shaking their head no, and so with that, I will declare the public hearing closed, and it's back to you, Mr. Coupon, for a consolidated motion, please, sir, on these bills.
Thank you, Madam President. Move approval.
All right. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion to approve 1312 and 1313 in a consolidated motion. Go ahead, sir. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All righty. We move to discussion. First in the queue, Councilmember Hancock. Do you seek to be recognized on this? Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, please. Thank you. I just wanted to comment in general about how when you have a building that already exists and you're going to repurpose it for something else, it's a great thing for the environment, sustainability. That's all.
Okay. I'm not sure if that was on these bills, but there is nobody else in the queue for discussion. So seeing none, we will move to the vote. All in favor of these companion bills on their second of three readings, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. So these 1312 and 1313 have passed their second of three readings, and that concludes our public hearing. All right, next we're going to roll right into Section K of our agenda, the consolidated consent agenda. All resolutions and second and third reading ordinances on this agenda are included on the consent agenda if recommended for approval unanimously by all committees to which the item was referred. Items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. The item number, along with the resolution and ordinance number of the items on the consent agenda, will be read by me, and then members of the council may remove any item from the consent agenda by request before the consent agenda vote is taken. All right, I will now begin to read those items proposed for the consolidated consent agenda. Agenda item 16, resolution 2026-1861. Agenda item 17, resolution 2026-1862. Agenda item 18, resolution 2026-1863. Agenda item 19, resolution 2026-1864. Agenda item 20, resolution 2026-1865. Agenda item 21, resolution 2026-1866. Agenda item 22, resolution 2026-1867. Agenda item 24, resolution 2026-1869. Agenda item 25, resolution 2026-1870. Agenda item 26, resolution 2026-1871. Agenda item 27, resolution 2026-1872. Agenda item 28, resolution 2026-1873. Agenda item 29, resolution 2026-1874. Agenda item 30, resolution 2026-1875. Agenda item 31, resolution 2026-1876. Agenda item 32, resolution 2026-1877. Agenda item 33, resolution 2026-1878. Agenda item 34, resolution 2026-1879. Agenda item 35, resolution 2026-1880. Agenda item 36, resolution 2026-1881. Agenda item 37, resolution 2026-1882. Agenda item 38, resolution 2026-1883. Agenda item 39, resolution 2026-1884. Agenda item 40, resolution 2026-1885. Agenda item 41, resolution 2026-1886. Agenda item 42, resolution 2026-1887. Agenda item 43, resolution 2026-1888. Agenda item 44, resolution 2026-1889. Agenda item 45, resolution 2026-1890. Agenda item 46, resolution 2026-1891. Agenda item 47, resolution 2026-1892. Agenda item 48, resolution 2026-1893. Agenda item 49, resolution 2026-1894. Agenda item 50, resolution 2026-1895. Agenda item 51, resolution 2026-1896. Agenda item 52, resolution 2026-1897. Right, that's the last resolution proposed for the consent agenda. Next will be bills on second reading proposed for the consolidated consent agenda. First among those is agenda item 85, ordinance BL 2026-1319. Agenda item 86, ordinance BL 2026-1320. Agenda item 87, ordinance BL 2026-1321. Agenda item 88, ordinance BL 2026-1322. Agenda item 89, ordinance BL 2026-1323. Agenda item 90, ordinance BL 2026-1324. Agenda item 91, ordinance BL 2026-1325. All right, next are bills on third reading proposed for the consolidated consent agenda. And the first among those is agenda item 92, ordinance BL 2025-1163. Agenda item 93, ordinance BL 2025-1164. Agenda item 94, ordinance BL 2026-1266. Agenda item 98, ordinance BL 2026-1297. Agenda item 99, ordinance BL 2026-1298. Agenda item 100, ordinance BL 2026-1299. Agenda item 101, ordinance BL 2026-1300. Agenda item 102, ordinance BL 2026-1301. And then lastly, agenda item 103, ordinance BL 2026-1302. Do any items need to be removed from the consent agenda? If so, if members would please join the queue to request that. All right, Councilmember Huffman, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Item number 50, RS 2026-1895.
Okay, Mr. Huffman has requested agenda item 50, resolution 1895 be removed from consent. It has been removed. Next, Councilmember Cortez, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Agenda item 44, RS 2026-1889.
All right, Mr. Cortez has requested the removal of agenda item 44, resolution 1889. It has been removed from consent. Ms. Benedict, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Number 45, RS 2026-1890, please.
All right. Ms. Benedict has requested the removal of agenda item 45, resolution 1890. It has been removed from consent. Next, Councilmember Harrell, you're recognized, sir.
Agenda item 94, please.
All right. Councilmember Harrell has requested removal of agenda item 94. This is ordinance 1164. Mr. Harrell, that is a companion to agenda item 92. Would you like to remove both, sir? All right. Mr. Harrell has requested... Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I thought you requested 93. Okay. All right. I apologize. I thought I heard 93, but Mr. Harrell has requested removal of agenda item 94. Mr. Harrell, this is ordinance 1266. Okay. It will be removed from consent. Sorry for that misunderstanding. Councilmember Benton, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Pull number 98, BL 2026-1297.
All right. Councilmember Benton has requested removal of agenda item 98. This is ordinance 1297. It will be removed from consent. Last in the queue, Councilmember Suara, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Item number 47, please.
All right. Councilmember Suara has requested removal of agenda item 47. This is resolution 1892, and it has been removed from consent. Are any other members seeking to be recognized to remove an item from the consolidated consent agenda? All right, seeing none, Mr. Clerk, are all committee reports in for the items on the consent agenda?
Yes, all committee reports are in.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Members, is there a motion for approval of the consent agenda? All right, it's properly moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. All right, council has passed all items on the consent agenda. Next, we will head back in agenda order from items that were not on consent. So that is back to section L of our agenda, resolutions. First among those is agenda item 23. This is resolution 2026-1868, sponsor Toombs. This is a resolution accepting the terms of a cooperative purchasing master agreement with ADP Inc. for human capital management systems and managed business solutions for the finance department. Councilmember Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee report. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 7 in favor, 0 against, 1 not voting. Move for approval.
All right. Is there a second? Okay. It is properly moved and seconded, and we are on to discussion. This may have been removed, I believe, for purposes of an abstention, but is there any discussion on 1868 regarding the purchasing master agreement for ADP? Okay, seeing none, we will move to the vote. We can, if we have a single, okay. All righty, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All righty, okay. This resolution has passed. Next is agenda item 44, resolution 2026-1889, sponsors Cortez, Vo, and Wiener. This is a resolution urging the Tennessee General Assembly to support House Bill 1289 and Senate Bill 1247 as amended, which approves the Alyssa Lotkus Safety Act. Mr. Cortez, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right, for the report of the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee, Chair Cash. Chair Cash on Mr. Cortez's 1889.
We voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right, it's back to you for a motion to get the resolution before us. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move for approval with a brief comment.
Is there a second? Okay, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Alyssa Lockett was shot and killed on October 14th while on an afternoon run in Mill Creek Greenway, October 14th, 2024. She was a beloved advocate whose unwavering love for others, intellectual curiosity, and commitment to progress left a lasting impact. Alyssa was a strong, independent, and compassionate person who deeply cared about empowering others, especially women. Her commitment to safety, support, and community continues to inspire all those who knew her. The Alyssa Lockett Safety Act at the Tennessee General Assembly directs the Tennessee Department of Environmental and Conservation, in coordination with the Department of Safety and local governments, to develop a comprehensive strategy for park design, lighting, maintenance, signage, surveillance, programming, and public involvement. This bill would benefit 59 state parks and more than 500 local parks across the state. A task force would coordinate with TDEC, DOS, and local governments to report and implement the bill's recommendations and support updates to each state park's safety and security plan. I ask all my colleagues to support this resolution in urging the General Assembly to pass the Alyssa Lockett Safety Act.
All right, there's a motion to approve that's properly seconded, and you've heard a description of the resolution by the sponsor. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right, this resolution has been adopted. Next is agenda item 45, resolution 2026-1890. Sponsors Spain, Evans, Rutherford, Allen, Huffman, Wiener, Gamble, and Bradford. This is a resolution requesting the Metropolitan government conduct additional research and analysis regarding tax rates and services within the Urban Services District and the General Services District to ensure all taxpayers in Davidson County are treated equitably. Councilmember Spain, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee report, please.
All right, for the report of the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee, Chair Cash.
I don't think we
I'm sorry. Pardon me. I'm looking above where I was. That is for the report of Budget and Finance. Chair Toombs. Sorry, Mr. Cash. Ms. Toombs, you're recognized.
Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, it's back to you, Vice Chair of Budget, for a motion to get the bill before us.
Thank you, Madam President. Move approval with a brief comment.
All right, is there a second? All right, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Colleagues, I don't want to rehash all the discussions that went into our budget discussions last year, but you'll recall that during those discussions, we received a report from Raftelis titled the Technical Memorandum for Davidson County USD GSD Cost and Revenue Allocation Analysis. And you'll recall that study recommended moving some costs associated with some services, mainly the fire service, from the USD to the GSD. Those changes were implemented in the FY26 budget. As a result, the difference between the tax rates in the GSD and USD went from 33.2 cents to 3.2 cents. But even though the folks in the GSD are now paying essentially the same tax rate as those in the USD, they still have to go out and pay for their own trash collection, street lights, et cetera. This study also recommended several other areas that were possibilities for further discussion that might mitigate the impacts to the taxpayers in the GSD, or different ways of providing services that would be more equitable to all taxpayers across the county. This resolution simply asks that Metro complete those studies and bring us recommendations on either ways to more directly connect revenue collection with service provision, or expand the services that are provided across the county. So with that, I appreciate those of you who have signed on to this as co-sponsors. The bottom line is that it is an effort to make sure that we are treating our taxpayers equitably and that folks are getting what they pay for. And I would appreciate your support. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Vice Chair. Next in the queue for discussion is Councilmember Benedict. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I understand where the concerns come with this, and I know this was a hot button when we went through the budget process last year. I also understand what an impact it was to residents outside of the USD, to play catch up on this. Having a district that is completely in the USD, we've been subsidizing based on the report that we see. So my folks have been paying extra for services that the rest of the county has been getting. And so I believe that all of the money that we spent on that last report was best spent then with the result that we got then. I'm curious for Council Chair, Vice Mayor, if we know there's no fiscal note on this because it's not that type of a resolution, but do we know how much it would cost to do this work?
I am happy to address that to the administration. So the request, Ms. Wiggins, is for this resolution implementing the studies that were mentioned. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We had our first meeting with Reftelis today to show them the legislation and work on scope of work. We don't have an estimate from them yet. So we don't know the cost, and we don't have it in the budget for this fiscal year either.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. And Chair, again, I understand that the council members in the GSD have a, answer to their taxpayers, and that this is something that, they've heard about. It was certainly a significant cost for members of the GSD to play catch up on this. Having said that, without knowing what this is going to cost all taxpayers to have a new study done, I would request respectfully a deferral on this until we can get that number. So I move a deferral.
Is there a second for the deferral motion? Okay, I've heard it. So we are now moving our discussion to the deferral motion. The queue was already quite full for the primary resolution. So I'm going to go down through the queue and ask if anyone intends or wants to speak on the deferral motion. Yes, sir. Mr. Appointee, you're recognized for a point of order.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. My question is, this wasn't, the motion for a deferral wasn't for a date specific. So is that a proper motion before the body?
Thank you. That is a good point of order. You need to defer to a date certain, please, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. One meeting deferral, please.
Okay. One meeting deferral. Is there a second for that? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Appointee. Again, I will move down the queue. I see Mr. Eastlick shaking his head no on the deferral motion. Ms. Evans on the deferral motion? Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Why not? I'll speak on the deferral motion. So I will speak in opposition to the deferral motion, in particular because if you remember from last term, whenever we were having this conversation, when our colleague brought this forward as part of the budget process, it actually took a really long time before it got implemented. It went through the entire process because of budget, initially budget concerns, et cetera. And then it took a long time to actually get the report. It was a very long time that stretched for a long time. Well, anyway, if we think about years, I know, and I didn't want to I didn't want to put a timeline on it like that, but to your point, it was years. And so if you think about it, the fact that we have, 17 months left of this term, the reality is the next time that we have a property tax increase, it's all going to be the same. GSD, USD, it's not going to matter. The rate is going to be the same. There needs to be a plan, and we need to start thinking about it now, about what does that look like? And I know that there's other conversations related to waste and all those discussions about what will happen related to, how Metro kind of covers those costs. But even things like streetlights, sidewalk consideration, those details, there just needs to be some thought, and we need to start early. So I'm going to speak against the deferral. I will vote against the deferral, and I'm supporting Councilmember Spain's resolution.
All right. Next, Mr. Horton, do you seek to be recognized on the deferral? No. Ms. Hancock on the deferral. Go ahead, ma'am. You're recognized.
Whether we have 17 months or 29 months left on this body, who knows? But we do want to get to work right away on this. We are currently, the GSD, we are subsidizing the services for the rest of the city. I currently pay only, 3 cents less in tax than those in the USD, but I also pay for my trash and my recycling and my streetlights, as do everyone else on my street and in my neighborhood association. I think that the jump
on the deferral, please, ma'am.
Yes, I think the jump was extravagant. We're all hurting, and we need answers sooner rather than later. And it would be great if we could get them in 17 or 29 months. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Spain on the motion to defer. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I rise in opposition to the deferral, and I appreciate the discussion, the comments of my colleagues. I agree that this is obviously a large undertaking and needs to start as soon as possible so that whatever information we have, we can have time to digest it, consider it, and decide the best path forward. Also, as Ms. Wiggins pointed out, this is not funded in the current budget, so if there is a contract necessary to do this study, it will have to be considered as part of the FY27 budget, which of course will come back before this body. So whatever the cost is, we will have a chance to review that at the appropriate time. So for that reason, I would oppose the deferral tonight. Appreciate your support.
All righty. Ms. Porterfield on the deferral motion. Go ahead, ma'am. You're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I rise in support of the deferral motion. I think that it is prudent for us to know the cost. If we're asking a study to be done, I think it's important that we know how much this study is actually going to cost all taxpayers before we ask for a duplicative study. We've already received a study with regards to the USD versus the GSD, in which we found out that the USD has been subsidizing the GSD for all this time. And I think that if we are saying that we need a secondary study to affirm or contradict the study that's already been done, the least we could do is figure out how much that study is going to cost our taxpayers. So I'm going to stand in support of the deferral.
All right. Is anyone else seeking to be recognized on the one meeting deferral motion? Ms. Benedict, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I just would add that a one meeting deferral is 2 weeks, so I don't know that there's an urgency to this. So I would ask my colleagues to support the deferral for the reasons that have been described. I don't know that 2 weeks, if we're going to be looking at funding this in the next budget, then I don't understand why a one meeting deferral would impact finding out what the cost is if we're not even going to approve a contract until the next budget. So with that, again, I renew my motion.
All right. Okay, we will move to the vote on the deferral motion. Again, number, not volume, please. If I cannot ascertain it, we'll have to go on the machine. So all in favor of the one meeting deferral motion, please say aye. Aye. Those voting no, please say no. No. I believe that the noes have it. Yes, ma'am, you may. Are there 3 seconds to the request for roll call? Okay. Mr. Clerk, if you would please put this one meeting deferral motion to a machine vote, please, sir. With all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. All right, colleagues, the motion fails. As I said, number, not volume. The vote is 9 in favor, 26 against, 0 abstentions. So we are back on the main motion, which is a motion to approve. Next in the queue on the motion to approve is Councilmember Eastlick.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm in support of this study, and I think if we're going to look for a price, we need to look for the price the other study cost. It had no data. It was basically just splitting the math evenly. I hear a lot in my district that we don't see police officers because we don't have crime. Well, that's not true. We don't see police officers because they're in the USD portion of the Hermitage precinct and not in the GSD portion. We have seen for a while, and if you do the math, you'll know that the services are usually toward the USD portion and not in the GSD portion. We are paying for services that we don't get as quickly or use as much. And the Ralph Tillis study didn't address any of that. It basically just said everybody pays the same because you all have the same opportunity to have it, not that you use it. And yes, we should be looking at where the assets are going versus who's paying for it. And the last thing I want to say is that in this area, we don't have all the other amenities. And there's no way this council would propose the money to put streetlights in every one of the GSD neighborhoods. And I don't think we should, at least not at this point. But I also agree with another council member's point that we need to make a plan. We need to tell people the truth, that we are actually going to pay the same amount sooner or later and not get the same amount of services. So we need to start telling the people the truth. The rate is already showing them that we're not doing a difference between the two territories and that we do need to address this. So I think we need to support this or just go back to the other plan, the way we did it before this year. This year wasn't vetted. When I asked, why don't we just push it off a year? I think it was something like well, this is a good idea, and we did a real study on it. Therefore, we must implement it, or we'll make ourselves vulnerable to being sued. I responded by saying, I feel like if we do this without vetting it and going through to find out if it's actually a good idea, we make ourselves vulnerable for being sued. And so we need to address this and get it fixed. There may end up being a credit given to the GSD after this is all resolved. And with that, I ask for the support for this study and a more equitable, fair tax between the USD and the GSD. Thank you.
All right, next in the queue is Councilmember Horton. You're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I rise in support of this resolution, although I think probably for different reasons than our friend from Bellevue. I think the studies that the city has conducted to date as to the fiscal impact and analysis of different development scenarios show on an anecdotal basis that it is the more dense parts of the city that subsidize the less dense parts of the cities, both from an operating perspective as well as from a capital perspective. Granted that those studies have been anecdotal to date, and this is something that has interested all parts of the county. And I think as this debate progresses, it would be useful to have a more definitive study as to the different tax and services yielded in the GSD versus the USD, both on how much tax revenue was generated, and on the cost per service in the USD versus the GSD. So as this debate progresses, I think the study would have a useful purpose in grounding that debate in fact. So for that reason, I support this resolution and ask my colleagues to join me in voting yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Horton. Next in the queue is Councilmember Benedict. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I guess I'd like to understand, if this is passed, does that automatically fund it, or do in fact we need to allocate this either by another resolution or in the budget in order to fund the study? If we pass this, does it mean it's going to happen? Or do we have to fund it before it happens?
Would you like to address that to the special counsel or to the administration?
Special
All right,
counsel.
Special Counsel Wilson, if you could answer that question, please, sir.
Yes, this is a non-binding resolution. No funding is being allocated or appropriated in this resolution. It would take separate action by this body.
Thank you. With that, I'm supportive of the resolution and look forward to voting in favor of it. I do think it's important, as Councilmember Horton just described, I would love to understand that, for water services, how much pipe does the city pay for that, and how much of that is funded by the USD versus the GSD? So looking at infrastructure costs like roads and, sewer pipes and water pipes and all those things, I hope that that's a part of the analysis as well. So again, I look forward to supporting this and voting in favor. Thank you.
All right, Council Member Spain, sponsor, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate all the thoughtful discussion on this. It's been mentioned that we already had a study, and we absolutely do. Everything that this resolution asks for is areas of further study that were identified by this original study. It's simply work that hasn't been completed yet. And I think this is the next piece of the puzzle. As several of my colleagues have mentioned, this is not just about taxpayers in the GSD. This is to make sure we're treating all taxpayers across the county equitably, and I appreciate all your support.
All righty, with no one else in the queue, we will move to the vote on this resolution. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no? Okay. Do we need to go on the boards? Okay. Mr. Clerk, resolution requires, by rule, if there is a no vote, it must be a recorded vote. Mr. Clerk, if you would please load the vote on this resolution, 1890. Motion to approve. All right, with all votes in, Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. The motion to approve has passed with 34 votes in favor, 1 vote against, and 0 abstentions. Council has adopted this resolution. All right. Next is agenda item 47, RS 2026-1892. Sponsors Swara, Porterfield, Nash, Rutherford Hill, Evan Stiles, Druffel, Prep T, Coupon, Gad, Taylor, Gamble, Allen, Ewing, Benedict Lee, Capvo, and Wiener. This is a resolution to honor the life and the legacy of the Reverend Dr. Bernard Lafayette, Jr. Councilmember Swara, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
For the report of rules, confirmations, and public elections, Chair Cash.
We voted to approve. 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you, Chair. Back to you, Ms. Swara, for a motion.
Thank you. I'd like to move for approval with a brief comment.
All right. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. This resolution is honoring another civil rights legend that had the opportunity to be trained in Nashville, came to school here, Dr. Bernard Lafayette. It was a John Lewis roommate, and it was part of the people that desegregated the lunch counters in Nashville, and also part of the freedom rides. As we talk about history and so many things that is being rolled back these days, for me, it is important that we continue to honor these folks, these trailblazers that put their life on the line to change the trajectory of the history of this country and of Nashville. And I think it's important for, at least what I use it for, is a motivation for the way things are going now. And every time that I find myself in a world or in a thought that I'm not, and I kind of make head or tails of what's going on, I remember what they had to go through, and I remember the world that they had to live in, and I remember their courage to stand up and to do what is right in that time. And I hope that it motivates me and it motivates a lot of people to look at these folks' history and learn from it, especially with the way our world is today. So I rise asking for your support. I also want to ask for 12.3, amend my motion to put that so that all those in favor can honor this legend, this icon that came to Nashville, changed Nashville, and changed the world. Thank you.
All right. There is a motion to approve with Rule 12.3 applied such that all those voting in the affirmative will be listed as co-sponsors, and that was properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. We have adopted this resolution. Okay. Agenda item 50, Resolution 2026-1895, sponsors Huffman, Vo, Wiener, and Swara. This is a resolution recognizing April 2026 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Nashville and Davidson County. Sponsor Huffman, Chair, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
For the report of rules and confirmations, Councilmember Cash.
We voted to approve. 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right, back to you for a motion, Chair Huffman.
A motion to approve with a brief comment.
All right, is there a second? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, colleagues. I'll keep this short. We've got some more substantive debates coming up. So I wanted to pull this off strictly because child abuse is a passionate issue of mine. Number one, any child that is abused is one too many. We live in a time that is stressful for a lot of families, and unfortunately, children, spouses get the brunt of that, and it's not acceptable. I want to go on the record as a body complete that we find this unacceptable, and with that, I move to adopt Rule 12.3 with approval.
Okay, is there a second for that amended motion? All right, there is a motion to approve with Rule 12.3 applied such that all those voting in the affirmative will be listed as co-sponsors. It's properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, Council has adopted this resolution. All right, now that concludes our resolutions that were not on consent. Next, agenda section M, bills on introduction and first reading. By rule, all items on first reading shall be voted on at the same time unless requested otherwise by a primary sponsor or by 2 other members. Do any items need to be removed from the collective first reading vote? All right, seeing none, is there a motion for approval of all the items on first consideration? Okay, properly seconded without objection. All right, you have approved all items on first reading. Next is Agenda Section N, bills on second reading that were not on our consent agenda. First among those is Agenda Item 81, Ordinance BL 2026-1255, sponsors Huffman, Horton, and Coupin. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 13.08 of the Metro Code of Laws related to sandwich board signs in the public right-of-way. Councilmember Huffman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right. For the report of the Budget and Finance Committee, Chair Toombs. This is Mr. Huffman's 1255.
Got it. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval as amended, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right. And for the report of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Chair Quinn Evans-Siegel.
Thank you, Madam President. Apologies, we have a lot.
No worries. It was a busy agenda.
For the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, we voted in favor of the amendment, 8 in favor, 0 against, and 0 not voting, and as amended, 8 in favor, 0 against, and 0 not voting.
All right. Those committee reports are in, and it's back to you, Mr. Huffman, for a motion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Motion to approve.
Right. Is there a second? Okay. On.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Colleagues, this legislation here does a couple of things. Number one, it's a very good pro-small business piece of legislation. I have several strip malls in Hermitage that butt up to the road that don't necessarily have the space to put a sandwich board, also known as an A-frame sign, those that aren't familiar with a sandwich board. They don't have the room. What they do have is stretches of right-of-way where it's not blocking any sidewalk, and today, those businesses cannot advertise. The lack of advertising can cause lack of revenue. It can cause businesses to leave Davidson County due to higher rents, higher costs in general. And this is meant to just help them just a little bit advertise daily specials that they have, any type of services that they may render. The big thing with this, too, is it requires a permitting system for this. So there will be revenue coming in for the city. In the downtown area, there also will be set hours. Today, it's a free-for-all. All signs are illegal, and they're everywhere. This puts some safeguards around those. There are ADA compliance issues that I have heard. We have made sure that those are covered in this amendment. I have put in specific requirements around the weight of the sign to ensure that we incorporate for different wind gusts within the city.
Mr. Huffman, would you like to use your time to make your motion to amend? And at that juncture, you could share about the amendment?
Move to amend.
Okay. Is there a second? Go ahead, sir. Continue.
Continuing on, just really quickly, I want to highlight that in the downtown area today, you can put up a sign anywhere you want. You're probably not going to get dinged for it. You may with codes, but you may not. It's inconsistent, y'all. And the inconsistency is killing businesses. It's driving them crazy. Downtown now, if this passes, you only be permitted to put up a sandwich board sign, 2 per location for those businesses that have front and back entrances, Monday through Thursday during daylight hours. One thing that is not included in this specific exemption is parking garages. That's simply because we required them to display their rates. I ask that you support this because it is, in my opinion, good governance just summed up into a piece of legislation. We're helping small businesses. We're clearing up a lot of uncertainty with businesses, with residents, and we're going to be bringing in more money through a permitting process. And with that, I'll ask for your approval. Thank you.
All right. There is a motion to amend. It is properly seconded. Is there any discussion specifically on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, and if you would please renew your motion.
Yep, renew my motion as amended.
Okay, motion to approve is amended. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right, this bill has passed its second of 3 readings as amended. Next is Agenda Item 82, Ordinance BL 2026-1295. This sponsors Allen, Bradford, and Huffman. This is an ordinance amending Section 2.24.230 of the Metro Code of Laws regarding the community meeting requirements for leasing certain metropolitan government-owned properties. Councilmember Allen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee reports, please.
All right. For the report of the Budget and Finance Committee, Chair Toombs.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval as amended with Amendment 1 and 2, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. All right. And for the report of the Government Operations and Regulations Committee, Chair Hill, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. We voted for approval with Amendments 1 and 3, and then also the late filed.
Okay, so 1 and 3, and the late filed amendment by Ms. Allen. Okay.
Gamble.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Gamble, but Ms. Allen has also
and we
signed
voted
on.
6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, got it. All right, with those reports in, it's back to you, Ms. Allen, first to get the bill before us.
Thank you, Madam. I would like to move the bill with a brief explanation and then move.
Yep, you can roll right into those after that. Is there a second for the motion to approve? Okay, go ahead.
Great. So the bill itself is just a refinement of a program that we've been doing for a number of years now. When there is a long-term lease of longer than 5 years for property over $1 million in worth, it is required to have a community meeting before that lease comes before the council. The purpose is simply to eliminate surprises of use of public property before the communities had a chance to point out what is important to them. What this bill does is updates the sign and notification requirements, and it adds a 45-day shot clock for the council member to schedule a meeting once they are made notice in writing that there's a lease being proposed by someone, and it adds an optional advisory group that can simply be a group that makes known what the community values so that can become part of the discussion about the lease. I would like to, with that, move my first amendment, please, ma'am.
All right. There is a motion to amend with Amendment 1, Ms. Allen's amendment. Is there a second? Okay. Anything you want to say on Amendment 1?
Yes. So what the amendment does is raise that threshold from $1 million to $5 million. That fits all the things that this is applied to recently, the most recent being the Centennial Park leased by the Predators. So it captures all the ones that where this has been important, and just adds a little bit more specificity about the advisory group to also include representatives from the lessee and from the Metro Department that owns the property.
All right. There's a motion to amend with Amendment 1 properly seconded, and you have heard a description by the sponsor. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend? Okay. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. Ms. Allen, if you would renew your motion, please.
I renew my motion of the bill as amended.
Okay. Next, you still have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you. Then I would like to move Councilmember Gamble's late filed bill.
Okay.
If I need to suspend
doing
the rules,
so would require a suspension of the rules.
then I would like to request a suspension of the rules.
Okay. There is a request to suspend the rules for purposes of a late file amendment for Ms. Gamble, now co-sponsored by Ms. Allen. Is there any objection to the suspension of the rules to take up this late filed amendment? Ms. Evans, you're in the queue, but you're not objecting to the late file? Okay. Seeing none, the rules are suspended. Go ahead and you may offer that amendment.
So I'd like to offer that amendment, which simply specifically says that this would not apply to leases on Metro schools That's kind of a whole different animal. That was not the intention of this. It's more about parks and other large metro properties.
Okay.
So I consider that a friendly amendment.
Yep. So there's a motion to amend with the late filed amendment. It is properly seconded, and you've heard a description. Is there any discussion on that late filed amendment? Ms. Evans? No? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, so there, that's the amendment does prevail. If you would please now renew your motion, Ms. Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the bill as amended and amended.
Okay.
One and
right. So there is a motion to approve so far with Amendment 1 and the Gamble-Allen late filed amendment. Go ahead, ma'am. You still have the floor.
Thank you. I can either move Councilmember Evans' amendment or let her do that.
Okay. Ms. Evans is deferring her time to you.
Okay, so I would move that amendment, which is Amendment 3.
Okay, go ahead.
And what that amendment does is require that the community meeting that has been specified already be recorded. And I have checked with Metro IT, and they can use home video recordings. I mean, if someone records the meeting on their phone or other technology, it doesn't have to be MNN showing up to record the meeting, because I didn't want that to be a barrier to ensuring that a community meeting is held. So this would require that a recording of the community meeting is made publicly available, and I support that as well.
Okay. All right. There's a motion to amend with Amendment 3 offered by Ms. Evans. It's properly seconded. Is there any discussion on Amendment 3? Mr. Coupin, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Madam President, and I appreciate the work on this bill. I had an amendment that I'm not going to move, so just to say that now, I appreciate Councilmember Allen's some tweaks that she's made, and I'm supportive of this amendment to have it be recorded. My question would be that the community meeting and the burden of the cost and kind of setup of the community meeting is on the applicant or I think the lessee or lessor, and this amendment says that the district council members shall make sure that this is recorded. So I guess what would be that obligation if a district council member didn't have the resources or didn't have the tools? Would they be have resources available to them? Like how would that work if a district council member said I don't have a tool to do that?
All right. Do you want to address that to the sponsor or special counsel?
Sponsor would be great.
Okay, Ms. Allen.
Thank you. Just based on the response that I got from Metro IT, they said a phone recording is fine, so it doesn't require anything more than a steady hand to record that.
All right.
Thank you.
That answers your question. Yes, okay. We're on a motion to amend with Amendment 3. Mr. Cash, you don't seek to be recognized. Mr. Coupin, you have just spoken. Okay, so we will move to the vote for Amendment 3. All in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, so if you would please, Ms. Allen, I'm just going to state it, renew your motion to approve as amended with Amendment 1, the late filed Gamble amendment, and Amendment 3.
So moved.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? That motion has been properly seconded. All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right. This resolution has passed its second of 3 readings as amended. All right. Next is agenda item 83, ordinance BL 2026-1315. Sponsors Cap, Horton, Evans, Siegel, Huffman, Hill, Spain, Coupin, Welsh, Gadd, Allen, Suara, Evans, Ellis, Stiles, Parker, Vo, Benedict, Bradford, Wiener, and Ewing. This is an ordinance to amend Title II of the Metro Code of Laws to create a new chapter establishing a permit prioritization program for affordable housing and daycare development projects. Councilmember Cap, sponsor, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
All right. Let's see. For the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, Chair Horton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We considered the substitute by Councilmember Cap and voted 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. We subsequently considered Amendment 2 by Councilmember Allen and voted recommended approval, 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And finally considered Amendment 1 by Councilmember Stiles and recommended against approval, 0 in favor, 11 against, 0 not voting.
All right. For the report of the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, Chair Evans Siegel, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. The Transportation Infrastructure Committee considered the substitute by Councilmember Cap and voted 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Amendment 2 by Councilmember Allen following the substitute, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Amendment 1 following an enlightening conversation by Councilmember Stiles, 0 in favor, 8 against, and 0 not voting. And then to approve as substituted with Amendment 2, 8 in favor, 0 against, and 0 not voting.
All right, thank you, ma'am. For the report of the Public Health and Safety Committee, Chair Huffman.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Public Health and Safety Committee voted to recommend approval as substituted and amended, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting, and we only voted on Councilmember Allen's substitute, to be clear.
Okay, or amendment, got it.
Amendment, yes, ma'am.
Okay, for the report of the, it's a quad report. All right, the report of the Government Operations and Regulations Committee, Chair Hill.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Amendment 1 was withdrawn in committee, so we recommended approval of the substitute as amended with Amendment 2, 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you, Chair. All righty. With that, all those 4 committee reports in, Mr. Cap, it is back to you. First for a motion to get this bill before us, please, sir.
Move approval, please.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Thanks to all the committees who consider this, and I'd like to move the substitute, please.
All right. Anything you want to share about the substitute, sir?
Yes, briefly. Thank you, Vice Mayor. This substitute adds some language at the suggestion of our housing division to incorporate some of what they've been doing on expediting the affordable housing projects. It helps make that definition a little bit more rigorous and predictable. So grateful to them for suggesting that. Otherwise, it's the same bill that we had on first reading, which takes the permit prioritization process that we already have for affordable housing, sort of moves it into the proper place in the code. It doesn't involve doing anything new. It's just sort of cleaning up the code a little bit. And what is new is adding the daycare permit prioritization process. So that's new. It's put into this legislation as a second priority behind affordable housing, but folks who want to do daycare projects when this passes, will be able to get an upfront meeting with predictability about departmental reviews. That'll save them time, it'll save them money, it'll help bring more of those online faster. I think a program like this is a solid little way to encourage daycare projects to come online, because childcare is way too expensive and scarce in Nashville, and we as a Metro government should help folks who want to care for our children. There's nothing better or more important than anyone can do than that. And so I ask for everyone's support. Thank you.
All right. So there is a motion to substitute, properly seconded. You've heard a description of the substitute of Chair, Mr. Cap, who's also Chair of another committee. Any discussion on the motion to substitute? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, Mr. Cap, I presume you want to renew your motion to approve as substituted. You still have the floor, sir, if you would like to advance any other amendment, or we can just move to discussion on the bill as substituted.
I move approval.
Okay. All right. There's a motion to approve as substituted, and we're on to discussion. First in the queue is Council Member Allen. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to move my Amendment 2.
Right, to move Amendment 2. Is there a second? Okay, properly moved and seconded. We are on to discussion, or you have the floor to describe your amendment.
Yes, briefly, this just adds specifically that inspections will also be expedited. And so in addition to the plan review on the front end, the inspections on the back end will also be prioritized.
Okay, continuing discussion, Councilmember Cap, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This is a friendly amendment. I appreciate Councilmember Allen's work on it and suggesting it. I think it improves the bill, and I appreciate it. But I do have a question for our special counsel, which is just having just substituted the bill. I want to confirm that this amendment would be an amendment to the substitute, or if there's some other way we ought to handle this amendment since we just substituted.
I can answer that question, but we'll let special counsel answer it. Go ahead.
Councilmember, the bill has been substituted, and at this point, any amendments or the amendatory language would not conflict with the bill as substituted, so they can both work in harmony.
I appreciate that clarification. Thank you for tracking that down, and appreciate the council member for bringing it.
All right. There is a motion to amend the bill as substituted with Council Member Allen's Amendment 2. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of Amendment 2, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay. Councilmember Cap, I will presume that you want to renew your motion to approve as substituted and amended with Amendment 2?
That's right, Vice Mayor. Thank you so much.
All right. Seconded. Is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. This has passed its second of 3 readings as substituted and amended. Next is Agenda Item 84, Ordinance BL 2026-1316, Sponsor Styles. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 16.24 of the Metro Code of Laws to require shopping centers to provide publicly accessible rubbish and garbage containers. Councilmember Styles, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Oh, yes.
Committee reports.
Committee reports are...
Everybody be quiet.
That's okay. For the report of the Government Operations and Regulations Committee, Chair Hill, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. We recommended approval as amended, 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All righty. That's back to you, Ms. Stiles. First for a motion to get the bill before us. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'd like to move for approval, please.
All right. There is a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? Okay. We are on to discussion. Is there anything else you want to say at this time?
I am in support of the amendment from Councilmember Bradford.
Okay. Do you want to offer it, or should he's in the queue so we could go to him and he could speak more about it?
Let's do that.
Okay. All right. So discussion continues. Mr. Bradford, you are next in the queue. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. As a colleague said, this is a friendly amendment. Basically what this does is it adds...
If you would make your motion.
The amendment, please.
Okay.
Basically what this amendment is going to do is it's going to include in the language that they also provide recycling receptacles. As we've seen the issue with our trash and the landfills that we're having, like we need to be focusing on diverting as much trash into recycling as we can. So I would appreciate colleagues supporting this amendment so that we can, if we're going to require businesses to have rubbish bins, let's also require that they have recycling as well.
All right. Okay, there is a motion to amend with Councilman Bradford's amendment. You've heard a description of that amendment. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to amend, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Now, Ms. Stiles, I'm going to restate a motion and you can simply nod, okay? We're going to renew approval as amended. And I'm seeing you shake your head. Yes, that is a motion. Is there a second for that new motion? All right. Is there any further discussion at this time? Ms. Stiles, would you like to be recognized? Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I did not have your, go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry. I hate to ask you to say again.
You'll never find. Since I could take advantage of my Lou Rawls this evening,
yes.
I just thought I'd give us a brief moment of levity. But yes, I'd like to move that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
For the raspy voice of Ms. Stiles, the vocal stylings, you have, hey, she is herself a singer, you know. You've heard the renewed motion to approve as amended on second reading. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this has passed its second of 3 readings as amended. Next is, all right, we're moving into the third reading portion of our agenda, section O, items that were not on consent. First among those is agenda item 94, ordinance BL 2026-1266, sponsor Harrell. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by changing from AR2A to RM15A&S zoning for properties located at 4046 and 4060 Murfreesboro Pike, approximately 399 feet southwest of Maxwell Road. This is 10.12 acres and within the Murfreesboro Pike Urban Design Overlay District. Councilmember Harrell, you're recognized, sir.
I actually would like to defer this one more meeting.
Okay, there is a motion for one meeting deferral that is properly seconded. Anything you want to say in regard to that? All right. Is there any discussion on the one meeting deferral motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this will be deferred one meeting to the meeting of April 21st. All right, next, agenda item 95, ordinance BL 2026-1273, sponsors Coupin and Stiles. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government, to make various changes to the downtown code, aka the DTC. Councilmember Coupin, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee reports, please.
All right. Committee reports. First among them is and only is the Planning and Zoning Committee report. Chair Horton.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. If we consider each of these amendments individually, I think it might be helpful for me to go back as we consider each, but at the outset, I'll go through each numerically. Amendment 1 was not moved and not considered by the committee. For Amendment 2, we recommended against approval, 4 in favor, 7 against, 0 not voting. For Amendment 3, we voted in favor, 6 in favor, 2 against, 2 not voting. For Amendment 4, we recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, 1 not voting. For Amendment 5, we recommended approval, 9 in favor, 1 against, 0 not voting. For Amendment 6, we recommended approval, 7 in favor, 2 against, 2 not voting. For Amendment 7, we recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, 1 not voting. For Amendment 8, we recommended in favor of approval, 5 in favor, 2 against, 1 not voting. Amendment 9 was indicated to be withdrawn by the sponsor. For Amendment 10, we recommended against approval, 2 in favor, 7 against, 1 not voting. Amendment 11, we recommended against approval, 4 in favor, 5 against, 0 not voting. Amendment 12, we recommended approval, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Amendment 13, we recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, 1 not voting. Amendment 14, we recommended approval, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Amendment 15, we recommended against approval, 1 in favor, 4 against, 5 not voting. Amendment 16, we recommended against approval, 2 in favor, 6 opposed, 1 not voting. Amendment 17, we recommended approval, 7 in favor, 0 against, 2 not voting. Amendment 18, we recommended approval, 5 in favor, 1 against, 3 not voting. And overall, we recommend approval of the bill overall with the positive recommendations for amendments on the bill, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
All right. Thank you for that very, very lengthy committee report. Councilmember Coupin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam President. Well, I'm going to remove a lot more of the length if we can. I'd like to move for a one meeting deferral with a brief comment.
That's so great to hear. Is there a second? All right.
I'd like to get us out of here early if we can.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Appreciate it, and thank you, seriously, thank you to so many people who've worked so hard on this project, members of the planning department and the development team, and members of the public and my colleagues, and so many more. We know this is a generational opportunity before us. When we were considering the East Bank development, I think it was contemplated that it could be years and years, if not decades, before we saw this scrapyard become something more than a wasteland. And so really exciting to be as close as we are. We've heard from, the public. We've had community meetings. We've had public engagement. I really tried to make it a point not just to hear from my constituents in my neighborhood, but to my friends across the interstate in East who are going to be also deeply impacted by this project. And that was evidenced, of course, by the 18 amendments we received yesterday, covering things like hotels, parking, traffic, design review, and more. There are many quality ideas here, and I really appreciate my colleagues bringing them, although maybe a little earlier next time. But, they're here, and there's a lot of really good material in that, I think, to work on. I know I've talked to some of my colleagues this evening about ways to kind of bring our amendments together. I had a couple late filed that will be timely filed for next time. So again, we're in a generational opportunity, but we need to get it right for our city. We need to get it right for our constituents and for the members of the public. We've heard over and over again how important this is, that this neighborhood prioritizes housing, that it's a neighborhood for Nashvillians. It's a place that people can access. And so I think we're really, really close. I think we're going to land the plane with something really incredible. But again, that's going to take a little bit more time. And so I'm asking my colleagues to give me 2 more weeks just to get this right and to work with my colleagues to the east and around the county to pull this together. So I'd like to renew my motion for a 1-meeting deferral. Thanks.
Okay, there is a motion to defer 1 meeting. It is properly seconded. We are on discussion of the deferral motion. There are 4 people in the queue. Do you seek to be recognized on the deferral? Go ahead, Mr. Huffman.
Previous question.
Okay. There's a motion to call the previous question. It is properly seconded. This is non-debatable. A yes on the previous question ends debate. A no makes the debate continue. Would all in favor of the previous question please say aye? Aye. Those against the previous question, please say no. No. Oh. Mr. Clerk, would you please put that on the board? I have a feeling that was a volume issue, not a number issue, but we're just gonna, in an abundance of caution, please, Mr. Clerk, a 1-meeting deferral motion on 1273 on its 3rd reading. Go ahead, sir. It sounds like we have a technical issue, but go ahead, Mr. Appointee, you recognize, sir.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. There's a bit of confusion in the room. Could you articulate for us what is the question that we are currently voting on?
I do see that. Mr. Clerk, to clarify, the vote that we are taking is on, and I apologize, I did misstate that. We were seeking clarity, colleagues, on the motion for the previous question. I do apologize. I got ahead of myself a little bit there. Mr. Clerk, if you could rescind that vote, and we will proceed with the motion on the previous question. That requires 2/3 of those voting. I think that's where we are. Is that your point of order, sir, that we were on the previous question? Ms. Allen, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Will this be re-referred to committee or not?
That is not presently.
That would take us a different motion.
Yeah, we're on the previous question at this time. So let's dispose of the previous question. And then depending on how that goes.
So I guess I just need to know. As a fair question, I need to know if
because it relates to your. But also, I would remind you, previous question is a non-debatable motion.
Right.
So, yeah, Ms. Benedict, point of order.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I think this is out of order. I think the previous question I think you were going there.
Yeah, the previous question has been called. It is non-debatable. It's a point of parliamentary inquiry. Does that prevail? Special counsel?
Point of inquiry does take precedent.
Okay, so the point of inquiry of Ms. Allen is if the previous question were to, okay.
Point of inquiry is if we didn't specifically say this needs to go back to committee, will it go back to committee because there were so many? Just
go ahead, special counsel.
The motion as made did not include a re-referral to committee. Therefore, if the motion prevails, this will not be re-referred back to committee.
All right. So now what is before us for a machine vote is just simply the previous question. The reason I'm putting this to a vote is I could not tell it by ear or by voice, and it does require 2/3 of the body. Okay? Thank you for the point of order. Thank you for the point of inquiry. Mr. Clerk, if you would please open the vote on the previous question. All votes are in. Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. Okay, the motion to call the question fails, and so we will continue with debate. The motion fails by a vote of 17, 14, and 1. It does require 2/3 of the body to prevail. So that means we are back to the motion that was on the floor when the previous question was called. That is a 1-meeting deferral motion. And so we will continue with discussion on the motion to defer 1 meeting. First in the queue is Councilmember Parker. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm not sure the best way to do this, but I do think that given the level of discussion that we had in the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting yesterday with consideration of 18 amendments, which I don't believe we would be required to consider again, as they already have recommendations from that committee. But we did have an additional 5 late filed amendments today. I would feel a lot more comfortable with a deferral here if we were going to re-refer this back to the Planning and Zoning Committee so that we could consider any new amendments that are presented.
Our precedent has said that that is a substantively different deferral motion if you add the re-referral. Okay. And so if you would please make that motion.
I'll move a 1-meeting deferral with a re-referral to the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Okay, Special Counsel?
At this point, we are still on the motion to defer. If you sought to, you could move to amend the motion.
Thank you. Rather than making a new motion,
I will move to amend the motion on the floor to include a re-referral to the Planning and Zoning Committee.
Second. Okay. All right. So are we on a discussion to amend the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Seeing none. Oh, Mr. Horton, go ahead, Chair, to speak to the re-referral. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We had a thorough and exhaustive discussion of the 18 filed amendments in Planning and Zoning for over 2 hours. I encourage all council members to watch our very wonderful committee meeting.
At 2 times speed.
At 2 times speed. The question, if this is re-referred to committee, would we have discretion as a committee to only consider the new amendments, or would we have to draw in the other 18 again for another 2-hour-long conversation?
That is a point of inquiry. I will address it to the special counsel. Go ahead, sir.
If any amendments would have to be refiled for a future meeting if this legislation was deferred. If an amendment was not placed on the bill, it would have to be reintroduced.
So all of our considerations of the 18 we've had to do so far would have to be, we've already issued committee recommendations for each of the 18 amendments. We would have to reissue recommendations if this was referred to committee?
Essentially, yes, council member. It would, these would be new amendments and would require new consideration.
Okay, let's just suss this out just a little bit more, if I may. Okay. Would it be appropriate, special counsel, if the chair in his capacity articulated into the record the former votes and asked for a vote of the committee to renew those or something to that effect? Is there anything that could be contemplated to kind of address the issue of the length of the meeting and referring it back?
Or could it be possible for us to refer to a special called committee meeting for purposes of considering amendments which are filed in the interim period between, or the late filed amendments now, and any that are filed in the interim?
Okay, special counsel, can you address that?
At this point, any amendments that would have to be filed anew, if they are not placed on this legislation, they would need new consideration by the committee if a re-referral occurred. And while the chair could certainly reference previous votes, it would require new votes from the committee to make a final determination.
Okay. I guess final point of parliamentary inquiry, should we fail to reconsider each of the existing timely filed amendments in our subsequent committee meeting, do amendments require a committee report, or would I be free to not consider the 18 timely filed amendments and reference the previous committee meetings recommendations and only issue new committee recommendations for the late filed amendments and any that are filed in the interim? Or do we need to have another 2-hour plus long committee meeting?
Special counsel, would you answer that as well in the intervening time if folks wanted to consolidate amendments and not have it be 18 of them? That could perhaps be contemplated. Could you address that, sir?
Let me make 2 points. First, amendments do not require a recommendation from a certain committee. So we have seen amendments tonight that have been considered without a committee recommendation when they're late filed. But in this case, no, you would not need a recommendation out of the committee. To the second question about consolidation, again, this would be a new amendments process, and members could could in theory consolidate if they so chose.
Thank you for that.
Okay, are you requesting a point of order? Okay, sorry, that prevails over point of inquiry. Go ahead, Ms. Benedict.
Thank you, Chair, Madam President. I guess what I'm hearing is if the amendments are going to be reintroduced, the challenge of the council member who was just speaking is the time it will take to consider those amendments in committee. And it seems to me with 47 acres on our riverfront and the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars for the investors who own this, it seems to me that
this is not a point of order. Oh. A point of order would be if I am appropriately addressing the points of inquiry, the order of the meeting, it has to be about where we are in the meeting. If anyone is seeking clarity in that regard, according to special counsel, we are on a motion to amend the deferral motion such that it includes a re-referral to committee. Okay?
Councilmember Horton was just speaking to
that was a point of parliamentary inquiry, and you asked for a point of order.
I asked for inquiry when I stood up.
No, you said point of order. Okay. So parliamentary inquiry is informing the amendment motion relative to the committee referral to understand operationally and parliamentary how that would work. So that's why I'm allowing that. Having heard this discussion up to the point where we are, Mr. Parker, do you seek to amend your motion or want the floor again for any point of clarification before we continue with discussion on the motion to amend the deferral motion with a re-referral to committee? Do you seek to be recognized again?
I would just like to circle back to the importance of having committee discussion for something this substantial. This is maybe the biggest rezoning in East Nashville's recent or entire history. So I do think it merits further committee discussion if no amendments are going to be proposed. We're going to defer this today.
All right. Is this for a point of parliamentary inquiry, Chair? Okay, so we are on the debate of Mr. Parker's motion. You are not next in the queue, sir. Okay, Mr. Horton, do you want to defer your time to Mr. Horton for points of clarification or what?
I wanted to add one more thing.
Okay.
And that is absent committee discussion of these amendments and this piece of complex legislation, those discussions are going to happen on the floor. Would y'all rather have discussion in committee or would you rather have that discussion on the floor?
All right. Okay. There is a motion to amend the one meeting deferral motion such that the bill will be re-referred to the Planning and Zoning Committee. We are on to discussion. First in the queue for that discussion is Ms. Benedict. You're not seeking to be recognized. Mr. Coupin, sponsor. Go ahead, sir. You're next.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to amend my motion because I believe from the earlier conversations I've had with my colleagues to the east that we are very close to, I think the word was used was framework, to consolidate 23 amendments. As much as I'd like to break some of the earlier records of amendments, I think we can consolidate those down substantially. I think we've already had discussions. I imagine that the ones that have been voted down or withdrawn will not hopefully reappear. And so I do think that we can clean this up very quickly in committee. So I would like to amend and move for one meeting deferral, re-refer it back to planning, or support the current amendment if it's cleaner either way, but I'm willing to support it in either direction.
Okay, I appreciate that, but we got to dispose of this motion first, okay? So I appreciate
So I'm
that.
supportive of the motion to amend.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ms. Benedict, you're still at the top of the queue. No. Mr. Coupin, we've disposed of that. Ms. Allen, you're next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise in support of the amendment to the deferral to re-refer. I think that's important. Okay.
I apologize. Okay.
We'll put you back in.
I will come back to you for the primary deferral motion. Okay. Got it. Go ahead, ma'am.
Simply to say that we had recommendations on conflicting amendments, so I think it is important to continue the discussion even on ones that we had recommendations on, because we can't vote for all the ones that we recommended for approval. And therefore, I like the re-referral, and I support that.
Okay. Ms. Porterfield, are you seeking to be recognized on Mr. Parker's motion? Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I stand in support of this. While waiting on our Budget and Finance Committee meeting to start, I had hours upon hours to listen, and I was, what do you call it, a captive audience or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was forced to listen to all of it, and I sat through it, but I think it definitely forced. It was definitely by force. But I do think it is important, however long it takes. Like, this is a really important conversation that needs to be had, especially for our neighbors in East Nashville. This is like one of those once in a generation things, and we have to make sure that we're getting it right. And it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we're going through these details, having the discussion, and also seconding what Councilmember Parker said. If we don't have the discussion in committee, then that means that we had the discussion on the floor. My only request is if we could maybe put budget ahead of planning on that day, if possible.
Oh, trust, we are discussing that. We will, I appreciate that. Okay, Mr. Horton, you are recognized, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I think you also rise in support of Councilmember Parker's motion to amend the deferral motion to include a re-referral to committee. I think it's valuable that these discussions, if they're going to happen in committee, and can have a more concise and more rich conversation in committee than we can on the floor. So rise in support and ask my colleagues
Okay,
to
I
do the same.
appreciate that. All right. Is there any further discussion on Mr. Parker's amendment to the one meeting deferral motion to add a re-referral to committee? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right, special counsel. So where we are at this juncture is a one meeting deferral motion with a re-referral to committee, right? That is what is before us.
That is correct, Vice Mayor.
Okay. I guess that was previously properly seconded. Ms. Benedict, you are next in the queue. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. So prior to all those gymnastics, I did want to speak on the deferral. I'm grateful it has the re-referral to committee for reasons that have already been said. What I want to stand up and say is that in regards to deferring the bill tonight as compared to presenting it for passage, the East Nashville community has been asking for more time. And as of yesterday, we were under the impression that this had to be rushed through. This had to be passed today. So I appreciate that the sponsor's willing to defer this in the interest of getting time. I also want to be clear that I hope that this is about engagement with the community and not about trying to kill amendments. Anyway, I don't like the way that things are being handled. I'm grateful that we can get some more time to share this with the community, but I'm just so dissatisfied with the process. That's the way that this has played out, and I wanted to share that on the floor as I represent the people. In District 7, they have told me that this process has not been good. And so again, while I'm supportive of this deferral, I am not supportive of the way that this has been handled. Thank you.
All right. On the deferral motion, Councilmember Kapp, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Briefly, I'd like to thank the sponsor of the legislation for asking for a deferral tonight. We had a great conversation in committee yesterday. It was thorough and edifying, and we covered a lot of substantive stuff. I understand there's more amendments that were late filed today. I look forward to discussing those too. If it takes time, it takes time. This is critically important, really, for everybody, but it's a big deal for East Nashville as well. And I just want to thank Councilmember Coupin for welcoming those voices and for giving us some time to develop these issues and to hear the voices of the people of the East Side that I think I can speak for my neighbors in saying we're all hearing from, and so we appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the one meeting deferral with a re-referral to committee, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? All right, this matter will be deferred to the meeting of April 21st with a re-referral to committee, which will be on April 20th. Okay, next, hang in there. We've got 3 more. Agenda item 96, ordinance BL 2026-1284, sponsor Coupon. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17, the Metro Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metro government by changing from IG to DTC zoning for various properties located east of Korean Veterans Boulevard and south of Sylvan Street. This is 40.96 acres, and effectively this is somewhat of a companion to the previous bill. Mr. Coupon, you are recognized.
Committee reports, please.
For the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, Chair Horton on 1284 by sponsor Coupon.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended approval, 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Coupon.
I think we should do the same thing, and I'd like to move for a one meeting deferral with a re-referral to planning.
All right, is there a second? Okay, is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right, this bill will also be deferred to the meeting of April 21st with the Planning and Zoning Committee on April 20th. Next is agenda item 97. This is ordinance BL 2026-1294, sponsors Toombs, Gadvo, Porterfield, Cortez, Allen, Ellis, and Suara. This is an ordinance authorizing a one-time bill credit to water and sewer users as a result of the January 2026 winter storm. Council Member Toombs, Chair, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Committee report. Budget and Finance voted to recommend approval, 6 in favor, 1 against, 1 not voting.
Okay.
Move for approval.
All right, and for the report of the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, that's already in from previously. Okay, prior to the deferral. Got it. With that, Ms. Toombs, it's back to you for a motion to get this before us, or did you say that when I was asking this question? You did? Okay, was there a second for that motion to approve? All right. Okay, we are on to discussion. First in the queue is Councilmember Bradford. You're recognized. Go ahead.
Previous question.
Okay, there is a motion to call the previous question. It has been properly seconded. It is non-debatable. It requires 2/3 of those voting. I am too tired to deal with doing this by voice. So if you would, this is a motion for the previous question that would end debate on this ordinance, right? 1294. If you want to continue debate, you vote no. If you want to end debate, you vote yes. Mr. Clerk, if you would please open the vote. All votes are in. Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. Okay, the motion to call the question has passed with 25 votes in favor and 8 against. That means that we move straight to the vote. I am aware that there will be no votes on this ordinance, which is on its 3rd and final reading, which does mean that a roll call vote will be required. And so with that, Mr. Clerk, if you would please load the vote on the motion to approve on 3rd and final reading for ordinance 1294. Did I read the caption on this bill? I know. Okay. This is an ordinance authorizing one-time bill credit to water and sewer users as a result of the January 2026 storm. I may have already said that. I just can't remember the structure. Has everyone voted? All votes are in. Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. Passage of this ordinance fails. It required 21 votes. There are 16 voting yes, 18 voting no, and 0 abstaining. This ordinance on its third and final reading has not passed. It has failed. Agenda item 98, ordinance BL 2026-1297, sponsors Toombs and Hill. This is an ordinance approving amendment number 1 to the contract between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County and iTedium, Inc. for COBRA administration and compliance services, as well as direct retiree billing and benefits. Council Member Toombs, Chair, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Move for approval.
All right. Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this? Council Member Benton, you're recognized, sir.
Briefly, colleagues, I just have one major question, and then let's get out of here. Are we having any issues with Oracle and Argano integration in order to integrate iTedium with Oracle?
All right. Is that a question you would like addressed to the administration related to if there could be any potential issues with iTedium's integration with Oracle?
Yes, since we've had issues that we're watching out for.
Yep. Can anyone from the administration respond in that regard as it relates to iTedium's integration with the Oracle enterprise system? Whom in the administration wants to be acknowledged? Ms. Wiggins, you're recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This COBRA is a completely separate billing system, and so it's not experiencing any of the similar issues with Oracle.
Okay, that's great.
All right. Is there any further discussion on this ordinance on its third and final reading? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? All right. This has passed its third and final reading. Yes, Ms. Benedict, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I just want to congratulate my Michigan Wolverines. I'm wearing maize and blue. I think if they were in, congratulations on the win.
Is there, Ms. Hill for a point of personal privilege. Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Hill, go ahead.
I just want to say that my grandson, Zach, just got his cancer scans back Thursday, and he is still cancer-free 1 year later.
That's wonderful news. That's wonderful. Is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, we are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.